Welcome to Recap. How's it going, About Better? How you doing?
Going well. Happy to be on the show. Thank you very much, Ranj, for the opportunity.
Oh,
Happy to talk
absolutely.
about some of these tops. Sip and smoke with you
Absolutely.
guys, actually.
What you
Get a
got
sip.
there? Founders
This is
leftover?
this is the Great Lakes Brewery, and it's funny because it's very similar to the Founders. If you look at the packaging, like there's two different beer companies, and both are Imperial Hazy IPAs. This
Oh,
one's from Great Lakes that I'm going to do today, and yesterday I did the Founders one. Are you familiar with Founders? You get Founders out there in the East
I
Coast?
do. Yeah, we get that here in New York. Absolutely.
Yeah,
They have
that's
it
some good
at
stuff.
on tap at some of the bars I frequent.
Awesome. That's awesome. If you get
Yeah.
it on tap, that's even better. And this Four Giant stuff was truly excellent. I really like that. I found it actually better than this Great Lakes brewery.
Right. I'm
They're
more of a like
distributed.
a I like the white beers and the ambers. I'm the pale ales are kind of bitter. Just
Well, these
personal preference.
well, you might like these because these have like that. They're like a golden pale ale, so they'll have that like.
What's up, Manny?
Um,
Welcome. Not to
what's
cut
up,
you off,
Manny?
Out Better.
No, please go on ahead.
No, we're just shooting the shit until you came on. Can you hear me?
I
I
can't hear
can't hear
Manny at
you.
all.
No, you gotta. I think you gotta unplug that, or your mic's messed up. I can't hear anything you're saying. Oh, you're fine with that? You're gonna do the whole show without audio? But anyway, we
I've
got
done
another Bellator's on as well.
I've done a lot of shows actually where I didn't even realize like the sound was off and I'm just talking going live. Didn't even realize like I have no sound and I all like
I
talk
think
to
I
myself.
caught one of those.
Yeah, like
One of your
30 minutes I'll just be
cigar
talking.
smoking ones, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be smoking a cigar here. I got a La
Yeah.
Gloria Cubana series R Maduro that I'm gonna be
Oh,
smoking
nice,
right with this right
nice.
now.
I'm not a aficionado, but yeah, I'm sipping on tonight. Just I'm trying to lose a little weight, so I gotta stay away from beer. So I'm on Corona hard seltzer.
Yeah,
It's
my
kind of
brother.
acquired to, but it's 5%. It does the job. It's only 100 calories or 4%, 4.5%, equal to your founders, but without the
Yeah,
calories and
yeah.
without
I
the
mean, my
taste
brother,
too. I prefer
who's
beer
a
over hard
fitness guy.
seltzer, but
Yeah, I'm a palate person. I'm a taste person. I have to have like cigars that have like a richness and a lot of diversity to them. Same with the beer. I'm done with that Miller High Life, that fucking cheap beer, Bush.
yeah,
Like
might
your
as well
Bud
go for
Light.
your quality. You're not a kid anymore. You don't want 30
Yeah,
pack. You'd rather have a
no,
6 pack of good beer rather than a 30
exactly.
pack of crap.
Yeah,
I hear you.
those
I
days,
I agree.
those days are
I'll
done, man.
spend a
I
little
can't do that.
extra. I'll spend it to get quality beer. I like you know what my favorite is when I'm at the bar is Peroni, the Italian
Oh,
beer
I like
Peroni.
Peroni.
I
Good
love
summer
Peroni.
beer. It's a
You
good
know
summer
that
beer.
beer, in order to sell it out of a bar, Peroni has to send a guy to your bar to make sure it's quality enough to sell Peroni on draft. On
Wow.
draft.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
I
learned
wish
that.
more. I wish more places would do that because there's like a lot of places that sell like microbrewers. Like we have a ton of microbrewers here now in Chicago, and a lot of venues that sell it, they just don't clean their taps, and their taps just aren't like just up to par, and the places aren't up to par, and then like the beer is
Right.
all just like it's just almost like moldy. It just tastes like crap. I can't
Hey
find
guys,
my
we're gonna
chain,
get
so
into
that's okay.
these fights as soon as Manny was in. He had to pop back out and fix his audio or something. And look, here he is. Let's see if he fixed it.
Is it good now, guys?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, there's that golden voice.
I
That's what everybody was
apologize.
waiting on. So you got
Yeah,
Bellator on the back screen.
I'm sorry. What was that, sir?
I got
Bellator's on
Bellator
right
on my
now.
screen.
Put that on your second screen.
I am right now, sir. I was
There you
watching
go.
it, and then I had like a meltdown. I had to do a restart. You know how that is. You start frantically.
That's all right. We're just talking alcohol and cigars.
Oh, we're not
Out better.
live.
He's an
Oh, we are live.
aficionado. Big aficionado. I don't even know shit about cigars. I like black and mild with the wood filter tip.
You're so ghetto, dude. You
I'm
are
just
so
saying,
ghetto.
I don't even smoke, but he's talking about quality over quantity, like a 6-pack of good small craft beer rather than a 30-pack of, you know, beast like Milwaukee's Best or something. We're not kids anymore. We're saying it's quality over quantity now when it comes to drinking and, in his case,
it depends on what we're talking about. But the older you get, I think you become more finicky about what you like, right? I think that's how it works for most people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell Bob Better's got some age. Just busting your balls, buddy. Just busting your balls.
No, hey, I'm an older guy. I felt it this week. I was at the BSR wave pool. Let me see here. Can you see that?
Oh, like yeah, you got a little burn up there. You should have worn that hat. You're swimming.
I got
wave pool.
I got my ass.
You're staying active. That's awesome that you went to a wave pool. That's great.
Yeah,
Activity.
I struggled, man. I was out of shape. I floundered. It was an expensive workout essentially. So.
All right, we got a bunch of prime cappers in the chat already.
It's never good to flounder.
Yeah, let's go. And we got Bellator on the background. We're gonna make some.
A lot of the cappers.
We're gonna go over these every fight on this card. I watched the weigh-ins, very entertaining. I ended up flipping my flipping two picks because of something in the weigh-ins. When I get to those fights, we'll talk about them. But without further ado, let's start getting into these, and keep your eye on Bellator in the background. Right now, it's Feraldo and Iniguez. Am I saying that right, Manny?
The first fight in the card. Hold on, let me pull up a few things.
No, it's not the first fight on the card. No, I'm talking about Bellator right now.
Oh, my bad, dude. Yeah, right now you got Feraldo.
Off Bellator and look at this chat here, see what people are chatting there.
Feraldo.
Feraldo. Yeah, he's a huge favorite though, right? He's like giant, like minus. Yeah, he's like minus 1,800.
There's a few big ones.
Let's go underdog. I didn't put no money on it, but I always like Bellator. You got to root for the underdogs, unless you got money.
Feraldo's a minus 1,500.
Yeah, the Bellator odds are ridiculous. The chalk, it's always an underdog or pass. I don't bet anything but dogs, primarily anyways, but especially on Bellator.
Oh, there is one caveat though. If you can get them like a week in advance, like if you get them a week in advance, you'll find a few minus 400 spots that will swell to like minus 800 by the time the fight goes off. It'll be parlay pieces, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, the Bellator is always like that. You got to make like 3 or 4 leg parlays.
Yeah, you got to go deep.
Are you drinking anything, Manny? There's Manny's the vino, the wine guy.
Yes, a little bit of wine.
I drink wine as well. Salud, cheers. Let's start the talk.
All right.
Salud.
Kombe. That's how you say it in Korean. Kombe.
Kombe.
Wow. Very
Kombe.
nice.
So you learned something tonight. All right. So let's get into this. Nicholas Dalby, Claudio Silva. Is that the first fight on the card?
It is, sir.
All right. I'm gonna load up the shared screen, what's it called? The weigh-in face-offs, just so you know. That's what we've been doing lately, and the chat likes it when we can criticize how the fighters look in the face-offs. You know what I'm saying?
We're judgy. People are judgy. They want to judge.
We are judgy, but if my money's I'm gonna judge you if my money's gonna go on you. You know what I'm saying? Of course. That's why we do this, right?
So the first fight in the card is going to be Nicholas Dalby.
Thank you.
Unless you want to do it about better.
What's that?
You want to do the intro for this fight here, brother? Or you want me to do it?
I mean, there isn't much of an intro for me. I'm a pass here. I didn't really see a position here. I mean, we see an obvious, grappling advantage for Claudio Silva. The age difference that everyone's going to always play that age where Claudio Silva always perceived as the old man. Nicholas Dalby himself is 37 years old. He's a little bit bigger. Claudio Silva looked ripped in the weigh-ins, and so did Nicholas Dalby. I've just never been impressed with Nicholas Dalby's. neither guys are finishers. Both of them, at least with Claudio Silva, you have a wrestling, or I'm sorry, not a wrestling, but a grappling upside, where 60% of his victories have been by submission. Dalby has no KOs or subs. He has no finishes in his career. So I'm looking this possibly at a distance prop, but I really didn't like anything. In fact, I was leaning towards yes to go the distance at -125 because Claudio Silva is wrestling, and we see this with a lot of Brazilians. The wrestling isn't really up to par to match the jiu-jitsu level, and Dalby's sort of abilities to be taken down, right? His own takedown accuracy is horrible, but his takedown, let's see, what was his takedown defense is 65%, right? So that's a possibility. It may hold up compared to how bad Claudio Silva's wrestling is. So I just see this going the distance and being a sluggish sort of fight where Dalby is just going to be able to outpoint him, use that size differential, use a little bit more. He has a little bit more speed, and just basically outpoint this. I think Claudio by sub at +600 is something that if you're on the Claudio side, that's the way to go. But another option is Claudio Dalby to win and the over 1.5 at -122. If you're going to bet this fight, because otherwise Dalby's a -250, and then him by decision is again another big risk. Is going to be something that I'm not too keen on. Him by decision only is what, -278? No, okay, that can't be. Dalby by decision +155. I'm staying away from it, but let me know what you guys think on this one.
Well, do you have a pick though? Do you have a side?
I think Dalby can easily outpoint this. All he's got to do is keep this on the feet. He's going to have despite not having, both of these guys have horrible striking offense and horrible defense, but Dalby, I think, is going to be slightly better in that realm. I think he's just going to be able to barely outpoint, stay on the feet. He could gas. I've seen that from Dalby before, where he's gassed that third round, but that first round he's very aggressive. So his finishing upside is in that first round. So Dalby first round by finish, or Claudio Silva by submission at +600. But I'm staying away. I hope I don't bet the submission. I make this mistake too often. I'm sprinkling way too many subs, even if they're quarter unit, $25, $50. It eats into my profit at the end of the night. If I'm starting off only betting $300, $400, that $25 does become a decision. So or a factor in terms of my overall profit. So I'm learning how to wean myself off of all these prop bets. Even though I am the prop better, I try not to bet every bout now, even though I normally do, and I still have that habit.
Well, all right. Let me go, and then you can finish up, Manny.
Yes, sir.
I watched Clint's Undefeated. That's kind of when he watches the face-offs and stuff, and he does his little if he sees any signs of weakness or something. In that show, I just watched it earlier today when I got home from work. He said Nicholas Dalby, if you check his Instagram, he's got a lot of outside the cage problems. Like I didn't check his Instagram, but he said there's other things like demons outside the fight. His mind might not be into it. All right. And Claudio Silva at 2-1 odds, the dude, I know he's starting to get up there in age, but look at his two last losses came by unanimous decision. It was Court McGee and James Krause, who are, proven. They're proven vets, right? Before that, he got a nice neck crank against Cole Williams, and he got an armbar against Danny Roberts. And before that, he got a rear naked choke against Nordine Taleb. That's just his last 5. The dude's solid, and he can get something here. If Nicholas Dalby has problems outside the cage and his head's not in it, and you know what? He's got some shady losses at himself. That Tim Means, that's kind of the Daniel Rodriguez should have been a loss, but he got a robbery victory because I think it was in Copenhagen, is in his backyard. But anyway, I was on Nicholas Dalby for the same reasons Bout Better said. He's a little bit younger. He's probably got a little bit better gas tank and cardio. But now with that new information, how he's got stuff going on out, and his problems. They're not happy stuff. It's like problems going on in his life outside the cage. I think I'm gonna take a chance and put a little just a sprinkle bet on Claudio Silva to get plus money, and I'm switching my pick on Tapology to Claudio Silva. I'm gonna say by submission. I think he's gonna maybe get like a club and sub round 2. That's just it's my new take on it. I'm flipping. That's right. I'm gonna take an underdog here. All right, Manny, what side you going with and why?
I'm on Dalby to win, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not proud to say that I spent a long time breaking down this fight. I spent way too much fucking time breaking down this fight. And I did it in part because I had extra time on my schedule, and I'm like, let me get a good read here, because most people are not going to have a good read. Most people are going to say what we just said here. And I'm like, nah. You know why? Because I'm a degen, and I want to bet on every motherfucking fight. And I want to find a spot in every fight, no matter how hard it is. And I have 2 spots here for you. The round 1 submission by Claudio Silva, this makes sense at plus 1,100. He is so much like Herbert Burns. And Herbert Burns last week, you could make fun of what happened and did he get hurt or not hurt. He did have his opponent in some precarious situations early. He did have what he needed to have, that triangle submission on the verge of doing it. And he didn't get it, and he gassed out, and he was done. And that's the same exact way that Silva fights. If Silva can get a submission early, it's like, all right, cool. I'm getting the job done. I win. If it gets anywhere past 1.5 rounds, he's going to be just like Burns. Worthless. On the flip side, Dalby can't finish anyone. So Dalby by decision at plus 140, plus 150. You can bet that. And you can also bet Silva at plus 1,100 with the round 1 sub. And I think you're covered on both sides. There's no way in hell that Silva goes 3 full rounds and gets a decision win. That's just impossible. Dalby's not a great fighter. This is a little too chalky in the money line at minus 230. I did parlay it, though. I'm going to tell you, I did parlay it. I parlayed him. I think Silva is that bad. And that's part of the reason why I like Dalby. As for the backgrounds of these 2 guys, they both have sketchy backgrounds. Claudio Silva used to be a gang member, did some time in jail, came out of jail, turned his life around. Nicholas Dalby has been cut once by the UFC. It's his second tour in the UFC. So both guys don't have the smoothest path to getting to this point. And Dalby's not very good, but he's going to land more punches. And Silva's going to gas out. And that is your breakdown.
Good one.
Manny, I know that I've criticized you before for getting pretty with the round props and methodology props, but in this card, being pretty is going to pay off. There are juice. There's good ass lines everywhere on this card. If you choose a method and a round, like even Silva in round 2 by submission is plus 1,900, right? So I've been looking at those lines. This card, I rarely do. I tend to avoid them, but I would have to agree with you that on this particular card, if you could find the spot, because there's so much chalk on this card, but if you could hit 1 or 2 of those, it really could pay for a lot of your bets the rest of the evening going forward. If you hit 1 of those, it's going to be a moneymaker for you.
All right. Well, let's move on. Next fight. Next fight, female fight between Mandy Bone, Victoria Leonardo. Now this one, Mandy Bone, I got notes. She hasn't really proven anything to me. She made her way through the German regional scene, beating a bunch of nobodies I've never heard of. She does have a fight in Bellator, coincidentally against a German that I've never heard of. But then she came on and got her UFC debut. She lost to Ariana Lipski. Ariana Lipski just did whatever she wanted to her. She beat her on the feet. She beat her on the ground. It was a unanimous decision. Mandy Bone was out there looking like she was not belonging to a UFC fight. It was kind of, she was like fainting from far away, and I don't know, it's just but stop. And here though, look at the size difference she's got on Victoria Leonardo, which it's kind of intimidating now. I hate the hat. I hate Victoria Leonardo's hat. I wish she didn't wear that stupid hat. And I don't hate the hat. I hate how she's wearing it all crooked and shit. It's so stupid. But the thing is, Victoria Leonardo has fought such better competition. I know she's lost to it, but she's still got that experience that, she broke her arm against Melissa Gatto, and she didn't quit. The ref The doctor said, "Hey, your arm's broken. You're done." But she didn't even want. She wanted to fight with a broken arm. That shows toughness, right? Yeah. Before that, she got knocked out round 2 by Manny But who doesn't? Manny is top 3 for real. She's top. She might be a future champ.
Yeah, she's legit.
Then in Contender Series, she violently ground and pounded the favorite Chelsea Hackett. Real pretty, like supposed to win that Contender Series. But Victoria Leonardo is a big underdog in Contender Series, ground and pounded her violently in round 2. Like, yeah, they had to pull her off. It was nasty. And then before that, she's got the Invicta stuff. She lost to Erin Blanchfield, but Erin Blanchfield, top 5 fighter, you know. And she has 2 losses to Miranda Maverick. One of them was exhibition, and the other one was it was a while ago. But the thing is, Victoria Leonardo's training with Andrea KGB Lee extensively in Louisiana.
KGB Lee.
Exactly. You know, Tony Kelly's girl and BDI Kelly. You know, you guys like Tony BDIs. But Mandy Bohm, she's over Extreme Couture. She's only been there just this camp though. She just recently moved there, and she's getting training. I saw on Instagram through the head coach Eric Nixick, which is good move for Mandy Bohm, but I think it might be a little too premature. I mean, too late. Like, I think she's going to lose. I think Victoria Leonardo, despite the size difference, I think she has the better fight experience, and I think she's going to edge out a decision despite the 6-inch reach advantage that Bohm has. Just recency bias, just looking at the most recent fights. So go ahead. Whoever wants to take it over, give your reasons.
You got it, Bout Better, though I think you're enjoying that cigar, so I don't know if you want to be interrupted right now.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the cigar. Hey, man. You know, Leonardo has lost all her fights end in distance, and she's been knocked out every fight that she's lost. I'm not very big on Mandy Bohm. Both these women, as we will see throughout this card, have horrible striking, have horrible takedown defense, have horrible striking defense, have horrible counter wrestling. I want to stay away from this bout altogether, but there is some value in Bohm by knockout because Leonardo has been knocked out so much. Mandy Bohm by KO, I believe. What did I have here? Was like
plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000. I mean,
sir. Well, I'm on the same prop, dude.
That's the only thing I'm looking at is and it's purely just because of history. But here's the problem: Mandy Bohm has has no knockouts in the UFC or in her career. So, you know what to bet on this? It's really, really sketchy. You know, the safe bet is of course a plus 155 by decision, but the TKO line being what it is and the finish at plus 390. But I think it's going to be, for me, it's going to be not lunch money, not gas money. It's going to be a little lottery ticket on that TKO for Mandy Bohm, and I'm going to stay away from anything else here because both these women, we're talking very low-level MMA, and it could go either way. You're either on the dog or you're a Bohm with that TKO prop, and you'll make some good money. But I'm going to stay away from it.
Yeah, they gave us a money line here that doesn't give you a ton of value either way. It's pretty much a pick 'em. So if it was like minus 175 for Bohm or like minus 200, then you'd have a lot more sharp money here on Leonard. But it's more or less a pick 'em, and that makes sense. Both fighters are not very impressive. I'm going to go with Bohm, but I'm going for her not because she's a better fighter. It's going to be reasons that have nothing to do with the actual fight. It's going to be based next to more of her home turf.
Because the hat.
Because Victoria's got a shitty hat, you know. Yeah, I mean, I mean, someone's gonna lose the fight. I do agree with Bout Better on some props here. The 2 props that I kind of honed in on, they're a little chalky. Would be like the fight goes to decision at minus 200, which means like if it's gonna be a greasy close fight, that's what I think is gonna happen, and I think it's gonna happen that way. That's probably a bet I'll place if I'm doing like a parlay and I just want to put another piece in there. Otherwise, that TKO prop that Bout Better mentioned at plus 1,000. Now, either fighter to win by submission, those props are kind of juicy too, like plus 750 for Bohm and plus 550 for Leonardo. But you're just reaching here because you don't have a good play. I think the best version of Victoria Leonardo will win the fight because Manny Bohm is not very good. But like, it's something about this being closer to Germany and just I think they want Manny Bohm to do well. So yeah, I'm on Manny Bohm, but not confident.
Gotcha. On a side note, see the comment, MPTV. I hate Leonardo's husband. He is kind of a creep. He's like gray haired, like much older. You can tell, much older than Victoria Leonardo.
What's wrong with that? Come on.
I'm just saying, just hear me out before you don't. I know, don't defend yourself. Yeah, I'm not picking on you, but I think his last name is Mason. But the thing is, he's the owner of the gym, Elite Combat Academy, where Andrea KGB, Tony Kelly, Victoria Leonardo. That I found that out. He's the owner of the gym, and I can just see how he creepily probably got Victoria Leonardo to.
It's probably her former babysitter too, when she was a teenager or some shit.
I guarantee I don't know. I don't know.
Did he groom her? Are you accusing him of doing some grooming, like Rose Namajunas' coach?
I have no idea. I'm just see how MPTV is like. I hate Leonardo's husband. I didn't even know she was married until recently, and I stalked her on Instagram a little bit and found some details about it. So interesting.
The martial arts community is going to have to address that because it's not like it's uncommon. It happens in Brazil, like there have been the Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys.
Did you ever see Ariana Lipski's husband? He's one of the coaches at ATT, All-American Top Team. He's like 2 decades her senior.
She's cute,
for real.
Too.
She is pretty. Oh, look, Leonardo's husband preaches his politics in class, according to Facebook reviews and Yelp.
By the way, Ice Viking asked about the giveaway. I am going to give away 2 Amazon gift cards during the show. We'll have 2 trivia questions. We'll let you guys know when those drop, so pay attention.
I like those boosted bets, Ice Viking. Taking advantage of those boosting bets and placing a very smart bet is the best way to make some good money when these online apps give you that opportunity. Don't just throw it on a flyer. Don't throw it on something that's good.
They all have them too. Like the William Hill, all of them. Bet US.
Can I just give us a Bellator update? One of the Khabib Dagestani knuckle gang guys just went in there and submitted somebody.
Got a quick submission. I see that too.
And then the next guy walking out is it Godzi, right? Godzi, Rabadub in the tub. So anyway, he's coming now into the octagon, and he's wearing Khabib Nurmagomedov's father's face on the shirt. Khabib is there. This Bellator 283 is turning into a Khabib show. He's been in the octagon like 3 straight fights and a bunch of Russian guys. And
really? Khabib's there?
He's there. He's actually right now talking.
I hope Bobby King knocks him out. That'll be awesome. No, just because he's cringy wearing Khabib's dad face on his shirt.
Don't do that. I bet on Godzi.
For some reason, David's always allowed to be.
He's like, what is he?
I have him in way too many parlays. I have him in way too many parlays right now.
Anyway, I try not to bet Bellator. Anyway, which OnlyFans research? I think the only person with OnlyFans on this card is Hannah Goldie. I think. I didn't really check. Yeah. I did check Hannah Goldie's. I didn't. I'm not a member. It's $20. $20 a month. She's too muscular for my taste.
Oh, jeez, dude. Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Too expensive.
And by the way, you don't even need to spend the $20. You could just go like on Reddit. There's plenty of butt naked shots of her right there for free.
Oh yeah, you can sleuth it and find. Yeah. But OnlyFans, they cater to you. Like I guess you can ask weird stuff. I don't know. That's what the whole $20 is for. You give me. If I had OnlyFans at $20 a month, I have
to
do what
you
gotta
defending
do.
it, Ranj?
A 20's a 20. You know what I mean? A 20's a 20.
Yeah, love it. Hey, I'm not hating. Anyway, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do, everybody.
Let's move up the card. Get off this bum girl fight. Yeah, minus 400 for Godzi.
Yeah, and I parlayed him at like minus 3.
And he knows his Reddit shit. All right, MPTV. We'll see it a little bit. We'll see you after.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Saba.
Yeah. All right. What's next on the card?
Moving
you guys didn't take a side, or did you? I'm on Leonardo. What's your pick for Tapology?
I'm probably going to take Leonardo when it comes around to Tapology, because even though I told you I'm going to take Manny Bohm and I have some dumbass reasons why, she probably is not going to win the fight. They're probably both going to lose. Bet the draw, guys. Plus 5,000.
She's horrible. She should be in the UFC. She should have stuck with that whatever German regional scene. You know that Germany doesn't really produce the best fighters.
Which is
Dustin
really
Stoltzfus.
Hey, he's on a winning streak, dude. Dustin's on a winning streak, man.
Yeah, I know. That I'm saying that's like one of the surprisingly one of the better ones, and he's probably the best German fighter there is right now.
Doesn't Germany have good
what's
wrestling?
What's the Green Mask? What's that one? Green Mask. His nickname's Green Mask.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Yes, you do.
Green Mask. Oh, we were just talking about him. Yes. Oh, wait. Oh, he's pretty
German.
Good though. That guy's pretty good.
He lost. He's not that good.
No, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about a different guy. I'm thinking about the tall guy who won recently. He's from Ireland though. I'm thinking about a different guy. Yeah, listen, I'm confused as to why Germany does not produce more successful mixed martial arts fighters in UFC, because I would think that Germany would be good at. They're good at like all sports. Like they're good at a lot of sports.
Yeah,
Stoltze. Yeah.
What was that?
Oh no, Dustin Stoltze is the good one. He's
fighting creative.
No, what's the there's one. Who's the Green Mask? What's his name? Is it Nicholas Stoltze maybe? Or I don't know. Whatever.
Trash.
So anyway, we're moving off this fight. We're moving on to, let's just follow the order of the next face-off. And I do believe it's going to be
Jay Herbert and Kyle Nelson. I believe that should be the case, right? Jay Herbert, Kyle Nelson. Another tough fight to call, by the way. Another one.
It is. And look at the size of Kyle Nelson's biceps. Huge compared to Jay Herbert. I'm just pointing that out there. I didn't change my pick or nothing. I'm still on Black Country Banger because he's in his backyard and he impressed me with that almost knocked out of Ilia Topuria his last fight. But then round 2, Ilia Topuria is like, I'm done playing games with you. Took care of business. But
time to break the seal, boys.
There you go. But Kyle Nelson, man, I don't know. He just looks intimidating. Looks like he's ready to go. But Jai Herbert, Team Renegade, training with like Arnold Allen, Aiden Lee, the one dude. I think he's like a Cage Warriors champ or something. O'Meal Brown, something, maybe Bellator. I don't know, whatever. But Jai Herbert at home with a 6-inch reach advantage and a 2-inch height advantage. He's gonna be the more technical striker, and he's gonna probably catch Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson, hasn't he had a layoff? Hasn't he been out for a bit or no? That's somebody else, right?
Kyle Nelson, looking it up.
Kyle Nelson's been training with Mike Malott over in Niagara Top Team. Mike Malott's also an alpha male coach and fighter. I don't know. It's just his 2 wins in his last 5. He lost to Matt Sales. He lost to Billy Q. He lost to Diego Ferreira. He beat some guy in RXF, that's Romanian thing, and he beat Polo Reyes, but who hasn't? That guy's not that good. That's why I got to take Jai Herbert here, the hometown. I know he's a chunky.
Can I ask a question here though? Can I ask a question? If Jay or Jai Herbert, if he wins, in your opinion, how does he win? What's his most likely path?
Knockout.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Not by decision.
He almost knocked out Ilia Topuria.
He did knock him down.
He heard Topuria up real high. And
I was scared. I was scared in that fight because I had Topuria on some parlays. That was terrifying.
Yeah, see what that's why I said the recency bias is strong in this fight. How about you, Bout Better? What do you think about this?
Well, both of these guys, all their wins are by TKO. The 6-inch reach advantage, as you mentioned, is very significant. They have the same UFC records. They're basically finish or be finished fighters. Not to go the distances at -286. I like the over 1.5 or any fighter to win in round 2 at +370. But I favor Herbert at that TKO at -103. I wish it was a little meatier. I might chase that, but I'm torn between that and the over 1.5 at -109, and any fighter to win round 2 or round 3. As I mentioned earlier, Manny, I normally don't get too pretty with these round props and throwing these things out there, but this is the type of card where if you're going to make some good profit and you're going to bet every fight, I don't think it's just a method that is going to to get you that payout that you want, you got to choose the method and the round. So I'm leaning on Jai Herbert TKO and the over 1.5 at -111.
I want to talk about the method of victory prop just real quick, because it's something that I am by no means a savant on. It's very new to my gambling dish. But what I've noticed recently, just in trying it out, like I'll take $150 and place 15 $10 prop bets that are like plus 1,000 or greater, and they're just by round. So for example, Fiziev, when he won in round 5, that was like plus 1,200 for him to win in round 5, or for him to win by TKO in round 5. And I played that prop thinking that, listen, it's 10, $15, whatever. But on that card and my last few cards in general, I've been hitting enough of these long shot props that it way more than covers my actual bets. Now I'm playing small amounts, like a 10th of a unit, a 15th of a unit, like nothing even in the range of a quarter unit. But as I'm getting better at this, I'm trying to see if there's a pattern. And what I'm saying is, if you want to be like, okay, for example, some people will say, no, I'm going to put $500 on this fight all in. That's not my betting style. I like to enjoy the bulk of the card and also different scenarios and have a little bit here, have it there. If you wanted to enjoy these first 3 fights in the card, the Herbert fight, the Bohm fight, the Dalby fight, looking at these props we've talked about, like the fight going to decision for Bohm and Leonardo is -200. The fight not going to decision versus Herbert and Nelson, which is probably the likelihood these guys are both knockout guys, is -270. Like parlay those two things together, you're almost getting equal money. That's the way to attack these first few fights. And again, going back to these prop scenarios by a certain specific method of victory, I would try doing it. Just do it with small amounts of money. If you don't win, fuck it, move on. But I think there's something there to be had, especially when you can't get a solid lean on the money line.
Yeah, but unfortunately, in this particular bout, Herbert round 1, who I think has the better finishing upside by TKO early, right? I think that Nelson could possibly get that. He's won by TKO as well. Is only plus 230.
Yeah,
so
that sucks.
In that, there's no value in terms of that. Even that small incremental micro bet. Yep. It just isn't enough to justify it, right? You're just better off.
Exactly. And in that case, I'm going to drive home. I think what you're saying is you're not going to bet that, because now what you're doing is now a lot of good bettors will tell you that certain specific prop bets are basically they're parlays masked behind a prop bet. A prop bet is ultimately a parlay. It's multiple scenarios that have to go your way. You start now putting more of your bankroll into that, you're eventually going to get gutted. So you have to be careful with putting too much into that. We're talking about big ass return on a small, bet.
All right.
What do you think, Ranj? You're the master.
I'm parlaying. I'm making a parlay with Jai Herbert right now because he's.
Oh, you like him? Well, if I want to talk about one more thing about this fight, there is home field advantage here. Going back to the prior London card, people forget that Herbert was also on that card. Now, you don't forget that he got killed, but he was on that card, and so they've more or less recycled a lot of those same guys that were on that last card.
Oh,
Dana White,
absolutely,
and it makes sense.
I don't think Vikings going to strike twice this time, though.
No, yeah, and so that's just it. Like, don't think that Herbert's just got a glass chin; it's going to just like fall apart. Nah, man. Listen, it happens. You get knocked out. I think Jai Herbert wins here. The home field advantage is going to be real. In the event it does go somehow to a round 3 decision prop, I don't think it's going to be there. I like the fight going under at some point, but still, I like Herbert to win because even if it's a close fight, he's going to have the small advantage. I like him in this spot, but at -260, here's where I'm going to tell you. I'm going to flip my opinion. Don't like parlay this because I don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a parlay piece for me. Put it that way. Not on my line.
I do a bunch of parlays, so it's just for fun.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do a parlay here, but we're not gonna include that.
-275. All right, let's move on to the next fight. This is the best face-off. This next one, best face-off of the night.
Your girl's not here, dude. Where's your girl at, man? Is she there? Is that her?
No, that's definitely not her.
Oh, my bad. You would recognize her with your evil eyes.
Who's at the Apex?
Same T-shirt though. Hollerhead. That's a dude, I think.
By the way,
right
you
comes in.
Oh yeah.
What?
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's a question I'll ask you later. It's about using StreamYard. I have a question about how to use it because I use it too, but I have a question how you're doing this multiple screen thing. I don't know how to do this shit.
Okay, I'll explain. Anyway, look at Mokaev comes in, pushes his fist right into. Oh, I wish it showed more because first of all, when Charles Johnson came in, he put on a Patty Pimblett wig. He came in with a.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And then he took it off real quick and real quick, only for a split second, put on his like Patty Pimblett wig and did his hands out. It was comical. But then Mokaev came in and did the with the eyes like I'm watching you, like that thing. And then he proceeded to do this. You know about the whole Twitter, right? With the machine gun, with the AK-47, Mokaev. Do you know about that?
I do. Yeah. I saw the picture of it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, about better. He had Mokaev was in a vehicle, like in the backseat of
the car. I got guns too.
Oh shit! You tell him about better.
Anyway, he flashed like a AK-47 and it said, "We'll see you in London." Just it was real cringy, like stupid. But look,
yeah,
I'm gonna let it play through.
In his defense, he's like 21 years old though. He's so young.
He is. He's just a kid.
A kid with grown ass man.
And he gives the finger. Yeah. I got something for you. Watching you. I'm watching you. I love it. But Charles Johnson, he don't play. He's from St. Louis. He don't play that.
Oh my God. This Russian's about to snap off this guy's arm in Bellator. Jesus Christ.
Oh really?
But Johnson's a champion. A PFL champ, not a PFL champion.
He is a champ over at hold on, I got it written. LFA, is it?
LFA.
LFA. LFA. Yeah.
LFA. He defended it twice.
I mean, you guys think LFA is legit or what?
Yeah, and he defended that belt twice. Now look at Muhammad Mokaev. Okay, he beat Cody Durden, who is not that great. But that was the UFC debut. Everybody's praising him for having a 23-0 undefeated amateur record, and then he comes in. He's only 6-0 as a pro. And if you break down his amateur record, there's one guy, Ryo Yamaguchi. He fought him 3 damn times. I mean, what's the quality of the fighters that he's getting these amateur undefeated record? It's like it's not one name in there I recognized. Just saying, it could have been. I don't know the quality of fighters. And then when he became a pro, that's what I'm saying. Muhammad Mokaev. That's what I'm talking about right now. He's the one undefeated as a amateur, Muhammad Mokaev. But Ryo Yamaguchi, I don't really even know that name. I know it now because I was like, he fought this guy 3 times, beat him decision every time. But everybody else is nobody I've heard of. Then you go into his pro career on Tapology. Abdul Hussein, sounds familiar, but how many Abdul Husseins are there? There's probably like 10 of them. I don't know. So Cody Durden is the only person I know Muhammad Mokaev's beat.
He did beat his ass too, by the way. Like he beat his ass.
But who else has he beat? Me or just
okay, time out. Just in his defense, he's literally like in his mid-20s.
He's 21.
He's not that young. I was joking earlier. I think he's like
21.
He is that young?
He is 21.
Okay, so he hasn't lived long enough, Ranj. He hasn't had enough time to fight anybody. Okay, he just had one decent fight against a UFC guy that was okay. I think he's got a ton of potential, and this is a big step up in competition for him. But the guy's legit, man. He's got the tools. He's not just a good grappler; he's a good wrestler too.
What do you guys feel about home field advantage on this card? I mean, Mokaev, even though he is a Dagestani, is it going to really play a part? I mean, yes, people are cheering for you, but once you're in there, I've never fought like that. I've never been in the cage. I think that the home field advantage in this particular instance, this night, I think might be a little overrated. Might be overvalued being a home field fighter like Muhammad Mokaev. Minus 500. He's not minus 500 against this guy, Charles Johnson, who is an LFA champ. So I'm looking at the yes to go the distance, believe it or not, prop here. I don't think Muhammad Mokaev is going to finish him. Charles Johnson's a tough guy. I'm looking at the over. You see, the over 1.5 is minus 200. So there is some legitimacy, or some, in my opinion, that this is going to go longer than people think. It's not going to be a quick finish for Mokaev like it was last time. I think he's going to have a harder time where Charles Johnson that he has had. This is like as Ranj mentioned, this is his biggest step up in competition that he's had so far.
Yeah, like minds think alike.
The round 1. I'm going to pick Mokaev as well, but man, I'm definitely not betting on him. and I'm rooting. I'm going to throw a sprinkle on Charles Johnson at plus 375 on the money line, and I'm going to be rooting for him for real. This guy.
I mean, listen. You to back Mokaev at minus 500, even as a parlay piece, is foolish. He hasn't.
Yeah, it's going to bring your value down.
Yeah, yeah. It might be worse after you add it. I mean, I just talked about how much I like him, but this is a classic case of this being an overpriced situation. Like he's a little overhyped in this scenario, and at minus 460, minus 500, whatever, it's a piece I won't pay for. Now the props I like for this though, I like the fight starting round 3. So when I heard about Better talking about the fight with a distance, the fight starting round 3 is even money. It's minus 120. Not even money. Minus 120, minus 130. I like that prop a lot. And then I like Charles Johnson by submission at plus 2,000. Very young fighter. You know, he hasn't really, we don't know about this guy. I mean, we know he's a good submission guy. We know he's going to try to get some takedowns. Charles Johnson's a little bit longer. He's got long, thinner forearms. He can get some submissions. He's got plenty of them in his background. He's being completely overlooked here. So anytime sub by Charles Johnson.
Or by punches, though.
Yeah, no, listen, the guy's well-rounded. Don't get me wrong. He's a finisher, and he could get a finish with his hands or with his submission. But at plus 2,000, the fight most likely at some point gets to the ground because Mokaev wants it to go to the ground. And I think at some point there,
Dagestani.
Yeah, and he's probably going to dominate there. Don't get me wrong. But if he makes a mistake, Charles Johnson's no joke. I'll put $10 on plus 2,000 for Charles Johnson to win by submission. And if he wins, it's a $200 payout. I'll do it. But I like Mokaev to win. But I'm not betting on Mokaev at all on the money line. I'm going to take a small bet on Charles Johnson, probably like $25 straight up at plus 370.
All right, I was watching. It just end of.
I guess let me be sure what I'm saying. I'm going to choose Charles Johnson to win. I'm going to get my balls
out
straight.
Of here. You are not.
I'm choosing Charles Johnson to win. I'm going to play him. You'll see in our Tapology or in our league we play in. I'm going to choose Charles Johnson. Because here's the thing. After the fight's over, when Charles Johnson wins, everyone's going to be like, well, yeah, it makes sense. The dude's very young. Like, Charles Johnson is an LFA champ. Like, Charles Johnson, this should be like a pick-em. He's a pretty good fighter.
I know. That's why I'm thinking. That's why but Muhammad Mokaev is fantastic. He's flawless.
He is. And Cody Durden's trash.
He's like I don't think he's ever lost a round. No, he has. He's actually, because there's a weird thing in Tapology also. It says potentially padded record or something. It says it's like a disclaimer. It's weird. Never saw it before. But I swear to God. But anyway, let's
those of you giving me heat in the chat here for picking Johnson, listen, I'm gonna die on this hill. I think Charles Johnson's got a shot here. Okay. He's got a shot.
Look at Johnson's hair. I know. What's with that little tuft of fur on the back of his head that he dyed it green? Oh, it's hilarious.
He didn't get the memo. Black guys can't wear mullets.
It's like a tail, like a 1985 rat tail, but dyed green and afro. That's weird.
It's bad.
All right, let's. All right, I want Johnson to win, but on Tapology, I'm picking Mokaev. He should win. He's at home. But man, now that you've switched, I think,
for the people in the chat who think that I'm bluffing, you could track all my bets on tips. You can see my official bets there. I will be putting a play on Johnson. And I'm not parlaying Mokaev. So like on the flip side,
I'm not parlaying it either.
No reason to parlay Mokaev.
Yeah.
I do have
but a lot of people will do that. I listen. I guarantee you that most of the casual bettors are going to be parlaying Mokaev. There's no question. And he'll become the parlay.
From my experience, there are a lot of non-casuals of people that don't really understand MMA, that don't really bet MMA, and that night they're guys that will make these 9-bet tickets of all favorites, and they'll see that minus 500 number, and they won't think twice about putting that on their 9-pick parlay, and they actually do get value at that point when it's nine legs,
when it's
but
that deep.
When it's
right.
But those guys don't really know what we know. I don't do that anymore. I'm not putting him there by any means, by any method. All the meat is on dog or pass. All the meat is on Johnson or by anything is just much better bet. But I'm staying away from this particular bout. There's no need to bet. Like, again, for myself, I'm the bout better. I'm surprised that Manny like is being the bout better in this. I usually could. I've had events where I've made 40 bets, if not more, 45 bets a card. I tried to get away from that because even though sometimes I win, even though sometimes I break even, when I do win, it isn't enough to make it worth worth my while. If I'm going to be betting $1,000 or $1,500 a night, I can't just be making $100. I can't just be making $40 in that evening. And I found that myself, when I spread myself that thin, that my profit level or even my risk level to lose isn't that great. But it's at the same time, I'm in there to try to double up or triple up my money. I'm not here to just make $40, $50 or even a unit. I like to actually double up or triple up on the end of the evening. And I found that spreading myself that thin just doesn't do that for me. Although I win those bets too. I'm not saying that don't do it, but the positive of betting those, like you said, Manny, you hit one of those at plus 1,200, even the $10, that pays for all the rest of the sprinkles that you made. So it does make it worth it. It makes it more exciting, and you're able to spread yourself a little bit more that way. But I've tried to refrain. I'm trying to pull back from doing that because I'd rather just put the money in my savings account or something else, my IRA or something else rather than that.
All right. Good enough.
Gotcha.
Let's move on. Makwan Emirkhani versus JSP Jonathan Pierce. Ooh. This is an interesting fight. Makwan Emirkhani, Mr. Finland, now has his own gym. He used to train out of SPG Ireland, but now he's purchased and he's the owner of MA Training Center. MA standing for Makwan Emirkhani. He's got one coach in there that's like a Finnish Army commando, like definitely Finnish military guy. And his name is Rico Imonen. And he's also got like all sorts of kickboxing. He's got a lot of accolades in different combat sports. Not MMA, but like kickboxing and some other hand-to-hand combat or some crap like that. But the thing is, Makwan's, he had that win against Mike Grundy. Now, I'm not making excuses, but Mike Grundy, his dad was dying in the audience, So he came out super hyped. He was very aggressive. He wanted to get a nice big victory in front of his dad. So he went in for a double leg. Makwan caught his neck, flipped him around, got an anaconda, round one, like in 57 seconds or something crazy like that, and it was kind of like a victory that, Mike Grundy got kicked out of the UFC for that and lost in London, lost in front of his in front of his dying dad. Mike Grundy got caught because he was too aggressive, go for a double leg, and got caught.
Tap quick.
So, and he did tap quick, but what can you do once you get the anaconda sunk in? You have to tap or you're going to pass out. Take your pick, pass out or tap out. So, but before that, Makwan has 3 losses in a row. Lerone Murphy, Kamwela Kirk, Edson Barboza. But you know what one sticks out to me? Kamwela Kirk. Why? JSP Jonathan Pierce. That's his main training partner right now over at Fight Ready. It's on Instagram. He's training with Kamwela Kirk, the Jawaian. And Kamwela Kirk already has the blueprint on how to beat Makwan Emirkhani. Jonathan Pierce, another kind of heavy favorite. I think he's 2-1 last time I checked. I'm not sure. Maybe that line moved the other way. Maybe it moved in favor of Emirkhani. But Jonathan
still the underdog.
He had that loss, his debut, he lost to Joe Lozon, all right? But after that loss, that was his UFC debut too. Kind of, got the jitters, came out of Contender Series. But after that, turned it right around. He got a grounded pound against Kai Kamaka III, sending him down to Bellator, lesser promotion. He got a rear naked choke over Omar Morales, that Argentinian guy. I think he's Argentinian. One of those South American countries that Venezuelan fighter. Yeah, I think he's Venezuelan. Omar Morales, who a lot of people were high on him. And then most recently, he got a unanimous decision against Christian Rodriguez. So JSP flipped it right around since his debut. Training with Kamwela Kirk, I gotta go JSP. I'm pretty confident. I do have him in several parlays. Makwan, I think he caught Mike Grundy on happenstance because Mike Grundy was too aggressive, not using smart fight IQ, went in for a double leg because he wanted to impress his dying father. Just
terrible.
a stupid mistake.
Just terrible. Oh.
Stupid mistake, and he got caught. Before that, those 3 losses haunt me. So go ahead. Whoever's next, give your spiel. I gotta get another drink.
Floor is all yours, Better. All yours, brother.
I already bet Marijuana at plus 195 on the money line last week. The sub is only plus 340. Any fighter to win via submission is plus 170. A lot of people view this as Amir Marijuana winning early as opposed to Jonathan Pierce winning late, because we've seen Marijuana gas early, and he does gas. So Marijuana to win in round 1 is plus 650. The under 1.5 is plus 133. Any fighter to win round 1 is plus 295. If you're on late, any fighter to win round 3 is plus 510, and then Pierce to win round 3 is plus 850. But I am leaning towards Amir Marijuana locking in that sub. I'm not impressed with Pierce's wrestling, even though he is a wrestler. I don't think he's very good at his submissions here. What's his submission? I mean, the not to go the distance prop is minus 205. So we expect to finish in this particular bout here. And I didn't upload. I don't know. I thought I wrote down, but 100% of Pierce's losses are by TKO. He's plus 650 by sub. I really like Marijuana by sub here at plus 340, but I bet him on the money line. I probably will bet the submission here because Jonathan Pierce is going to fall into right in what Amir Marijuana wants to do, which is grapple, because Pierce is a grappler. And even on the feet, both these guys have horrible striking defense. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to see these fights. Horrible striking defense, horrible striking offense, not super active on the feet. And my dog is barking over here, but I think he's barking because he wants beer and he wants, hey, come on. And
I have a dog, but he's calming. You could take him outside. We could rotate chairs. Ranj will be back in a second. I'll take the next leg.
Hey, no, I don't need to take this guy out. Hey.
So this was one of the fights in the card that I did the least amount of research. But I do agree with you. Like they say, smart minds think alike. And I honed in on the round 1 submission prop for Americani, which is at plus 800. The round 2 submission prop for Americani is at plus 1,300. If you subscribe to the thinking that he has a tendency to tire and have a little bit of a cardio issue, then round 1, the fighters aren't sweating yet. Most likely, opportunity for a submission. Round 2, maybe he's not too tired, can get a submission at that point. So I like those 2 props. I also agree with you that submission prop of plus 330, plus 340 for Makwan Americani to win at any point by submission. I think it's the most likely path to victory. So we're going to make one bet on him, one prop bet. That's your safest. And if you want to get a real safe here, the over 1.5 is minus 175. I think we get there. But the fight probably does not go the full distance, is minus 200. I do like those 2 props. I mean, if you bet both of them, you can actually hit both of them. So I don't have a strong play on the money line, though.
I'm thinking the under 1.5 plus 133.
Listen, that's not a bad play either. I think the over 1.5, under 1.5 props are ones you want to look at. The money line is a trap, because if you look at Americani at plus 160, look at his tapology, you're thinking, okay, had a nice big win, and you start dog hunting. You start dog or pass, right? But man, Pierce could technically beat him. Pierce can also get choked out. Your best way to bet this fight, and it's just my humble opinion, is to find a prop or 2 you like and keep it moving. You're not going to be satisfied if you just pick a side and that guy ends up losing. You get nothing out of your bet.
Do you guys have Bellator on?
I do, sir. And right now,
do you see this girl in the gold?
Yeah, she's sexy. Love.
She is not. I don't know either one of these women.
Oh, you don't know Vanessa Porto? Listen, can I take a moment here? Public service announcement.
Yes, please.
If you tracked our activity for Invicta this week, We hammered it. We hit all of our parlays. We hit every single bet except for one. We were all over it. That was Wednesday night. Invicta is available on DraftKings and FanDuel. And I love women's MMA. And anyone who said you can't bet on women's MMA safely, boo to you. You could do it. You could do it. This girl looks crazy though in this outfit. It's not a weird. It's very weird.
That's Vanessa Porto with the gold.
No, like Vanessa Porto. No, Vanessa Porto's the other one on the other side, the Israeli-looking girl who's older now. Like she's had a run.
Who's who's this one that looks like an Aztec?
Ortega. She's a plus 200-ish underdog. I got some money on her.
So don't mess with me.
I do.
I wish I knew that. I would have.
Yeah, Vanessa Porto.
I'm like, look at this girl with the gold on. I love it.
Vanessa Porto, her thing is, man, she used to be okay back in the day, but her last few fights, she slowed down so much.
She looks like Vanessa Porto looks a mess right now. Like, she got the shaved hair.
She's rocking the 1980s skateboard haircut, like shave all the sides.
I know.
And it's crooked too. Like, oh my God, yeah, only one side.
Oh, only the one side is. Yeah, that's odd. Jesus. Oh, I would have put two. Look at this girl, the Porto girl, or not Porto, Ortega. Was it Ortega? Ortega. She's got this.
I mean, she's plus 200. Plus 200 underdog.
I wish I knew that. I would have took that. Yeah, look at her. She's fierce. I like her.
I wish you knew more about Porto, because for those of you who don't know about Porto, look up Vanessa Porto on your Google, and her older pictures, like maybe like
she was in the UFC before.
I want to say she had a run in the UFC. I think so, maybe. But I could tell you what, she fought some good fighters, and in her prime, she was jacked, like so freaking jacked. And so if you look up a Tapology photo of her or older photos, you might get confused and think, man, she's so strong. But she's kind of like shrunk down, probably not the juice anymore, slowed down a lot. And then after
Porto, you got a bet on this fight?
Oh yeah, whoever bet on Porto, I wish I could have warned you guys ahead of time. She's got no cardio. Like right now, it's 3.5 minutes to go in round one, and she's already starting to slow down. And the Mexican warrior over there with the crazy dress. I don't know her much.
I like her. The Incan Aztec.
Oh, you like that? That's your style, huh?
Lost City of Gold. Yes. It's just kind of cringy, trashy, like 1988 reminds me of. I like that look. All right, let's move up the card. So you guys I'm on JSP. Who's I gotta write this stuff down. Who you guys taking?
I'm Americani on the money line and by submission.
Yeah, we're on Americani. We're both
of you guys are on Americani. Okay, good. JSP, let's go. Kamwela Kurt. Got the blueprint teaching you. All right. Moving up the card, we're gonna follow this face-offs here.
Yes, sir. Nathaniel Poppin Wood versus Charles Rosa.
Oh, Charles Rosa's looking big too. He's looking big and strong. Look at.
It's a good.
He wrapped his fist with the American flag. America. Boston strong. He looks Boston strong too, compared to Nathaniel Wood, and he's the biggest underdog on the card, I do believe.
Yeah, worth a play too. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, Nathaniel Wood minus 590.
Not good. Listen. I'm going to tell you something.
I got Nathaniel Wood minus 650 on BetOnline right now. Minus 650. That's disgusting. And Rosa is plus 425. Plus 425 on this guy right here with his fist wrapped in the American flag. Looking like a dog. Looking like he wants to kill this guy.
All these fighters are aware of the money lines. They're aware of the news, the hype. If you're Nathaniel Wood, dude, this is gonna fuck with his head. He's such a big. Yeah, the pressure is on, dude. Like, you are a huge favorite, and I guarantee you, once the bell sounds for the finishing of round one, going into round two, he's not gonna look like a minus 500 fucking favorite, or minus 600. It's not gonna look like that. This money line is way out of control. Way out of control.
That person you thought was my girl, I think that's a dude. The howler head shirt. Oh, damn. Isn't that a guy?
You know what?
But Manny, that being said, even though you're correct, I think that we are going to see something more. We're going to see a little bit more of a competitive fight. And Vegas is already onto that, because the over 1.5 is minus 385. The over 2.5 is minus 225. and the yes to go to the distance is -186, and that's just because of Charles Rosa's durability, but his inactivity, yeah, just not active. I mean, Rosa is 35 years old. 40% of his losses have been by submission. Neither has been subbed. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't saw that here, but neither has been subbed. I said pass on this particular bout, but if you guys could convince me to the Rosa side, I think all the value is there just on the money line. I'm passing this particular bout. I'm not rooting for either guy. Again, that whole home field advantage for Nathaniel Wood is possibly going to play a factor, but yep. Rosa is ready. He looks bigger. He is durable, and Vegas is already onto that. So once I saw that the over 1.5 is -385, when I see -590, you're supposed to be a finisher. You're supposed to be able to finish this, dominate this fight, and none of the odds say that there's going to be a domination here. So I'm away. I'm off.
He's coming off a loss to Nathaniel Wood, to Casey Kenny. And you know what sticks out to me like a sore thumb? A loss to John Dodson.
Thank you. Woo.
TKO round 3. That sticks right out like a red flag. That's what that looks like to me.
Dodson's not a slouch, bro.
I know he's not, but still, TKO round 3 and against the prospect, Nathaniel Wood. You know? But the thing is, Rosa's last 5 is not impressive at all. He has 2 wins, both by split decision. One was a robbery. Justin James beat him, but because Justin James had to go, oh, I'm risking my whole purse. I'm betting it on me. That's why. That's why the judges were like, you know what, split decision. Let's have this guy blow his whole purse on himself. Let's give it to Boston Strong Charles Rosa, and that's the only reason he won that fight. But aside from that, though, he keeps going to decision. T.J. Brown, loss by decision. Damon Jackson, loss by decision. That shows his durability. Derek Minner, loss, but by decision. He did beat Kevin Aguilar. How? Split decision. That's what Charles Rosa's a decisionator, win or lose. He's durable. He goes to decision. American top team versus Nathaniel Wood, Great Britain top team. I'm not
America.
Just pointing that out. And that's why he's got the fist wrapped up with the American flag. HET, son.
I thought you couldn't have the flags anymore in the UFC.
Well, I guess you can as a wrap around your fist. So
-137 on the top bet by decision is not really that attractive for me for Nathaniel Wood. I mean, if you took Rosa by decision, which is going to be +1,000. I would rather lean that side than the -137 in a fight that I think is going to be competitive.
Rosa by decision is +1,000. Is that what you said?
Speed advantage.
Yep. Rosa decision +1,000.
Wow, that is.
I'm not betting it, but I think that's a better. Like this fight. But what if we're wrong? What if this Nathaniel Wood goes out there and starches Charles Rosa?
So I think
it's probably what's going to happen. But I think not starch him. He's going to win. He's going to win, but not -600.
Okay, so hear me out on this angle. If you go way back, like 2015, 2014, go way back typology of Nathaniel Wood, he gets finished. He gets finished a lot, actually. He's been finished in all of his losses except for one, and that was his last fight against Casey Kenny. He got knocked out by a guy, John Dodson, who's no longer on the UFC roster. So I like Charles Rosa by submission at any time at +1,100, or Charles Rosa to win at any point by TKO at +1,800. I'll play both those props. I do believe Nathaniel Wood is not very durable. I'm concerned about his durability. If the fight goes long, Charles Rosa is a bit of a mutant, and I can see him doing something there. Now, I get that he wins fights by decision. I agree with you on what you were saying there, Ranj. But on the other side, Nathaniel Wood tends to get finished. So I'll be playing some of those finishing props for Charles Rosa.
Imagine if Charles Rosa shocked all of Great Britain by finishing Nathaniel Wood. Oh,
hey, man, we've seen crazier. It's like his last fight, too. It's the last fight of his contract. I get there's some extra stress there for him. I get he's over the hill. But give me +440 on the money line, too, man. I'm playing that. If you had $10 to bet here, we're going to bet $10 on minus.
He just opened up his own gym, Charles Rosa. It's called Combat Systems Fighting Academy or something like that.
There you go.
But I heard that from one of the cappers. The Fight Night Pick brothers, the Allen brothers. They said Charles Rosa just started opening up. He opened up. It's a businessman now. So
I recall, as our president of our country once said, that's President Biden. He said that if you voted for Trump, you're no. He said you're not black, right? He said something dumb like that. Well, same thing here. If you don't bet on Charles Rosa and you're from America, you have to hand in your American card too. Okay, it's America time here. Charles Rosa all day, every day.
You're not picking him on Tapology,
that girl won by submission, by the way. Ortega at plus.
Oh, I see that right now. I see that.
Yeah. Dude, I parlayed her. How about them apples?
You know what? Who's fighting next? Let's have some fun with Bellator. Who's up on this card that I can throw a bet on?
Well, you know,
Romero Cotton versus Dalton Rasta.
I think that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Never heard of either one of those.
They're both undefeated, so I would stay away from that one.
Are they? Then look, Romero Cotton.
Oh, you know what you want to play, dude? Hey, you know what you want to play? The main event, Jason Jackson, man. He's like a minus 190 favorite. Douglas Lehman missed weight.
How about look at Sydney Outlaw at plus money?
Yes. Matter of fact, our boy Cody Saptic actually advised that as a pick in his PRP for this card. He liked Outlaw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he liked Outlaw. He liked Berkimov. He liked Davion Franklin. He liked Dalton Rosta in the next fight. And of course, he liked Usman Magomedov.
All the favorites except for Sydney Outlaw.
Yeah, Sydney's plus money. But he also liked Ortega, the girl who just won. He had her as well, plus money.
Oh, you know, she looks like Vanessa
Porto's done.
Loopy? Not Loopy. Maybe. I don't know. She looks like a UFC fighter real quick. I just saw.
Vanessa Porto is done, man.
Sydney Outlaw. I'm gonna take him at plus money.
Do it.
That'll be fun.
Do it.
The other people, though, all these other favorites, I have to parlay them because I don't know. Usman Nurmagomedov, of course.
You can't parlay it. It's like, yeah. But you know, he was listen, I mentioned this earlier. He was minus 500 on Monday. So I'm not saying it's like, but like if you were going to parlay it on Monday, it was some value there on Monday.
This Marcelo Golm, why does that sound? Lorenz Larkin, that sounds familiar too.
Yeah, I think Lorenz had a small play in the UFC, didn't he? It's a name that rings a bell.
I think he did. I've seen his name before.
It's a household.
He's plus
name.
funny. Okay, next fight, Romero Cotton, Dalton Rasta. I'll just leave it alone. Cotton's plus 245 though. I can do it right now. Right now, I can throw $10 on it just for fun. But I don't know.
I have nothing to go. But I have nothing to go off on that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, that's how you lose money.
Sounds like Rosa retirement fight. Yes, Gerald. That's the thing. I think
it's not a good thing.
And if you look at his Instagram, it doesn't show him training. It shows him out watching other UFC fights with his girl. Of course, she's gorgeous. And then it shows him like in his fancy clothes going to like clubs, and it's just. But at these events, these clubs and stuff, he must have went to the last fight night because he's got pictures of him and Yair, like dressed nice clothes, like clubbing clothes. You know what I mean? He's got pictures of him and like all these other UFC fighters, all dressed top notch. You know. So anyway. I guess he's definitely worth a bet. And Nathaniel Wood, do not put him in any of your parlays. You can pick him on Tapology as far as I go. About as far as I'd go with that. So let's move up the card. Let's see.
We got another homer, Mark Diakisi. Another hometown person.
Yeah. Who trains with Nathaniel Wood. Both out of Great Britain top team. They both train together.
Looky.
Against Damir Hadzovic, who's looking tough as nails.
Yeah, dude is tough.
Looking tough as nails. Unfortunately, he's got some shady losses. He lost to the Spartan, the Greek guy, Christos Giagos. He got rear naked choked in 44 seconds of round 1 by Renato Moicano. And he beat Yancy Medeiros, but everyone says Yancy Medeiros has fell right off before that. Before that fight, he had already fallen off. Who else did he beat? Before the Christos Giagos, he beat Polo Reyes. Mentioned him earlier. I said everybody's beating that guy. And he had a split decision against Nick Hine.
Casey went to the distance with Fiziev, though.
Oh, did he? Demir Hadzovic did?
No, the Casey went the distance with Fiziev.
Oh, we're talking about Hadzovic. Hadzovic also trains with Nicholas Dalby, of all people, out of Arte Suave in Copenhagen.
Arte Suave.
Mark Diakese, the Bone Crusher, he likes guys. If you didn't know that.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I actually put out a whole profile. No, he's not gay. And the thing is, I know this because I learned the hard way. I put out a whole profile on him, and I actually thought he was gay because I had saw some stuff in some news article, and then I had some people come to my YouTube page and correct me, and I looked it up. He is supportive of the people of the lesbian, LGBTQA community. He is supportive of that, but he himself is not gay. He is openly supportive of that.
Okay, new information.
Oh,
yeah, but he's not gay himself, and I learned that because I embarrassed.
You know who else is not gay? Jordan Levitt. Shit, you're not. He's married with a child.
Okay, time out here. That's a different.
It doesn't mean you can't be gay.
Yes, exactly. That's I was gonna say. Sometimes it's just a cover, dude. People with like a whole family for like 40 years. Jordan Levitt may not be gay, but with all due respect, he has a tinge of it in just his behavior.
Yeah, he likes that flamboyancy. I think it might be an act.
Yeah, same people say the same thing about me.
There's nothing gay about you, dude. You are.
I like things a little
Let me see how you hit that cigar.
No, dude, you are full ombre.
Cigar is nice and chocolatey, by the way, guys. Very sweet, hints of chocolate, very chocolatey. So we're on the chocolate guy. I'm on Casey, but I'm not betting it. I wanted to parlay Casey, but I other than Tom Aspinall, there's no real value for me to pair him with anyone other than Aspinall on this card, or possibly even Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I think another chalky one. What is he? Minus 360?
Yeah.
375 here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 375. That's just ridiculous.
I want to say this because I remember breaking down his fight when he fought against Borshev, his last fight, and I had chosen Borshev to win the fight.
At Borshev.
Yeah, everyone was on Borshev, right? And the thing is, like Mark Diakese, he could look so bad at times, and I mean that, like, I guess whenever you're getting hurt, everyone looks bad, right? But like I question like how much he wants to come back in a fight that he's losing. How much heart he has when he's getting his shit kicked. I just don't see it at times. And watching him get beat by guys like Rafael Alves, I know that side of him. And so when I'm seeing him as a big favorite here, I'm not comfortable playing him. If I had to bet this fight, I would bet the other way. I'm choosing him to win. But from a betting perspective, I would never take him at this price tag. I'm not sold on this guy just yet.
Agreed. I'm going to pick him to win, but definitely he's making my big parlays like the all UK parlay and but Demir
he has to go the distance at minus 106 is what I'm looking at here. Diakese is plus 160 by decision. If you really think that he does he not have a black belt? He is a good he has a black belt, but I don't think he has any submissions in the UFC. And he is plus 1150 by submission. But I'm looking at that he has to go the distance at minus 106 in this particular bout.
He lost by submission to Rafael Alves. He lost by guillotine choke.
Yeah, round 1, 2, early.
Yeah.
He folded. It was a bad look.
Not to put shade on British, but it's like their black belts, I think, are a little bit easier to obtain in Great Britain than they are in like Brazil and the U.S.
We saw that with Ricky Simone last week.
Yeah.
What's that?
You mentioned that last week. You went with Ricky Simone because of that American wrestling.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Wrestling, same with wrestling. The England doesn't even put anybody in.
How good, by the way, how good was that information that we received on that?
Oh, it's fantastic. Man, because our parlay was going to hit so close because we had Jing Liang Li.
I do.
But then Ortega had to go and separate his shoulder. Fluky.
Yeah.
But that would have made that $100 bet would have made me $800.
I mean, that fight came down. Every capper was looking at who was going to be the better grappler, wrestler, because they both do well with the grappling and wrestling and striking. You knew that what's his name? What's this guy's name from fucking England? He fought not Ricky Simone. His opponent was a better striker. So it came down to who would be a better grappler. And so when it's that close like that, if you have the information to help you decide which way to lean, and it was not even close though. That's the information that we received. It was not going to be close in the clinch. Now Ricky ends up submitting him. Yeah, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close in the clinch.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
All right, great fight.
Yeah, good, very good fight, dude.
So here everybody's on the side of Diakese, just not betting it because chalky, once again, chalky. So
parlayable. I think he's parlayable. I think that he definitely will win this because his control
I don't.
is so much greater than
375. I guess.
I have a question though.
Has to be a sizable parlay though.
I got one more question before we move on though with this fight. And I just don't have a lot of knowledge on Diakese. Is he a guy who does do a lot of wrestling? In the last fight, I saw him do that, but like, is that really his like thing? Is that what he does about better?
No, he has a jiu-jitsu background. He's not a great wrestler. I mean, he's got good takedown defense at 63%. You know, it's not great, but Hazovic doesn't have anything really to bring here. I'm confident in Diakese. I just don't know how to bet Diakese here, right? That's why I'm looking at yes to go the distance. I think that he could just smother Hazovic, just stay on top, do the same thing that he did to Borislav. Let's just rinse and repeat.
Is like a Bosnian, right? Bosnian bomber. So he's like from Bosnia Herzegovina. Isn't that like kind of Russian states or something? Like, right? Isn't I thought you would think that because he from the area of the world he's from, he would have that like, you know, that Eastern European wrestling, not really Dagestani, but kind of like that Czech, Romanian area, Polish, kind of like, you know what I mean when I'm that Eastern European type wrestling. You'd think he'd have that. What's that?
There are more kickboxers in that region.
Yeah, I know.
Romanians, Bosnians.
Like Ion Kutalaba, isn't he? He's like wrestler, right? And he's from that.
Yeah, no, but he's from Moldova, which is different. Moldova has good wrestling. Bulgaria has good wrestling, right?
Yes, they do. Yes.
You know, it depends,
right.
Depends where you're at in that Eastern European blueprint.
Like Bosnia Herzegovina. I thought that was kind of right in that same area, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, we're all on the side of Diakese, just not confident or not betting it because the line's chalky. Except for about better, he's going to throw money on it. All right, so moving,
I might throw the yes to go the distance. I don't think I think I might parlay Diakese.
Yeah, I got him in the UK parlay. I made like a 9-fighter. Everybody that's out of the United Kingdom, I put in a parlay, just gimmicky, just to be gimmicky. You know,
Ranj, you're the same as I am. Like we value master
Mason Jones also in that UK parlay. Now look at Ludovic Klein looking fantastic. This is another one where Mason Jones got a lot of pressure on him, man.
Yes.
Another hefty parlay. Or hefty chalky. Where does he? Minus 345.
Minus 390 right now on DraftKings.
Oh wow, it went up then. It went up big time too. Minus 390 then for Mason Jones. Again, a lot of pressure. These guys, like you said, these guys know what the odds are. And if you see that, you better not lose because everybody in your country has you in a parlay. You know what I mean? Everybody in London, in England, is counting on Mason Jones and Nathaniel Wood in their parlay. But Ludovic Klein, Mr. Highlight, do not sleep on this dude. He's Slovakian, another one of those Eastern European
kickboxer.
It's kind of like a Greco-Roman type wrestling style. You know what I mean? They do a lot more like upper body throws and things like that. It's just, I don't know. But Ludovic Klein's coming off a split decision win against Devontae Smith. Before that, took a couple losses to Nate the Train Landwehr and Mike Trezano. But he did beat the New Zealand fighter, Shane Young. I think he's out of City Kickboxing. And he beat him in his UFC debut by a TKO, round 1. Very good on Ludovic Klein. Before that, he was fighting out of that Octagon, that promotion. I think that's Eastern Europe, like Romania, Czech Republic. I think those guys that's a legit. That's like KSW. You know, it's like the Polish. It's those that good regional scenes.
It's good
over
stuff.
there.
It's good quality fighting.
Yeah, tough fighters over there out of that scene. Then we got Mason Jones. He had that unanimous decision over David Onama, but you got to think David Onama came in debut, jumping up a weight class because David Onama's 145, and he took it like on 3 days' notice.
Yes, he did.
But everybody's saying, "Oh, the Dragon, he proved it against David Onama." But well, considering David Onama came in like 3 days' notice, jumping up a weight class, you should have won that.
If they fought now, it'd probably be a little different.
I bet it would. And you know what? Mason Jones had his debut, and he lost to Mike Davis. I don't know where Mike Davis is now, but I wish I did, because Mike Davis was an impressive fighter. I'd like to see him again back in the cage.
He had a moment.
What's that?
He had a moment. He did.
He did.
Mike Davis.
Before that, he was a double champ over at Cage Warriors. You know, that's the British, the English, Europe.
They were on today. They were on today.
Yeah, Cage Warriors seems like they're on every weekend. They're always on.
Cage Warriors champions are legit contenders against anybody they face, whether Russians or not. You know, even we're going to see this Paddy Pimblett, Cage Warrior champion. We have to look at these smaller arenas where Cage Warriors is no joke, man. It produces really good fighters.
And a lot of these guys on this card are former, like that Jai Herbert. He's a former Cage Warriors champ.
Yep.
You know, Mason Jones, champ. I think he was a 155 and 145 champ. But because he was knocking everybody out there. Mason Jones should win this, but once again, minus 345. I can't find a place to. I'm not going to count out Ludovic Klein at minus. It's not worth the value for me to put. I'll put him in as my pick, Mason Jones, but I'm not betting him. I'm not going to put him in a parlay. I'm not going to, prop bet him, because Ludovic Klein can. Just looking at the picture, he can win this. Go ahead.
You got it, Pal. Better hit it first, buddy.
Well, I'm afraid to bet some of these non-English fighters, but again, all the meat is on the non-English fighters and non-field guys, right? Like, I'm a dog chaser. I'm a plus money. Got to get that plus money.
Plus money.
Right.
And
watch this
I'm looking at
face-off. I think Ludovic Klein won this face-off. Just like watch how quick that Mason Jones jumped away from him. Like he didn't look at. Let's go. And then he just backs off like far away. And just, I don't know. It's kind of like he was going with the flow, like doing doing what he's supposed to. Then I don't know. I think Ludovic Klein won that face-off. I think he stood his ground. Mason Jones just went in there with the let's go, because doing what he's supposed to do. I don't know.
Well, Ranj, this isn't horse racing. I definitely get something out of the face-offs, but in horse racing, for example, I love going to the corral and watching the horses do their little rounds. If you've ever been to or bet horses, you'll see the horses. They do this little carousel where you get to see the horse. And everyone's looking at the horse. They're looking at how big the balls are, how big the legs are.
I know.
And they're making bets
based on
they're based on the physicality or the attributes of the fighter. And I get that in these face-offs, but Ludovic Klein is a serious good kickboxer. The guy has great kicks. And it's Mason Jones' control versus Ludovic Klein's takedown defense and his activity. Like, how is Mason Jones going to handle that? Like, Mason Jones is going to want to get this to the ground. He's going to want to control Ludovic Klein. And if Ludovic Klein, I think this is a live bet sort of fight. I'm probably going to do Klein and the over 1.5 at plus 1,400 is what I'm going to do. I'm on Klein possibly by the money line, but I'm going to look at that over 1.5 and him to win at plus 1,400, because we're looking at this again. Ranj, you mentioned the European wrestling, the English wrestling. Jones is a control guy. Is he able to control Ludovic Klein? And I think Ludovic Klein's takedown defense might hold up here. I like that number. As Manny might know, I have to jump. I hate to get pretty with these things, but I'm going to get pretty in this card. I'm going to start betting these props with a method, right? And that Klein to win and over 1.5 at plus 1,400. Again, lunch money, $20, quarter unit, $20, nothing extravagant. It's going to eat my profit, but I actually like Klein to win this. I bet against him against Landwehr. It killed me. I bet super strong on him. I was bid on that. Sometimes I don't like to switch because I've been bid. But I think Mason Jones here, we haven't seen him fight somebody like Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein is a serious, legitimate, great kickboxer, a guy who has decent takedown defense. If he could keep this on the feet, avoid being controlled, he's going to win this either by TKO or by decision. So I'm on him to win and the over at plus 1,400. That's my bet.
Wow.
I love that. I love it, dude. I wasn't thinking any of that stuff. So I'm going to go back and listen to this recording again and take all that information, like digest it, and probably play one of those spots, dude. That's good stuff, man. That's some really good stuff.
Yeah, that you
also just scared the shit out of everyone who's been parlaying Mason Jones.
Somebody, a simple man, mentioned in the chat that Klein doesn't handle guys who come forward, but the guy is going to come forward and he's going to feed into him. And it's a bigger cage. We're not at the apex. It's gonna be him being able, and he's got great kicks. He's got good striking, and I think that we're gonna see if Mason Jones wrestling, it's another European, if it's going to match up in Ludovic Klein takedown defense. If he could stuff a few takedowns, especially early, we're gonna see that later. And if he could continue it later, and you see like Ranj, you can see like in the face-offs, Klein is not physically. We're doing the whole sports.
You know, sometimes I do to get like a casual point of view. I'll have my daughter come in here. I'm like, look at these two guys. Who's gonna win? Because she doesn't know. You know, she doesn't know one from the other. And I guarantee right now she's up in bed already. But I guarantee she would pick Ludovic Klein, just not knowing anything. You know, like which of these two guys you think's gonna win just by looking at them. And I guarantee she would pick Ludovic Klein. That's always like a, you know, just by, I don't know, just the physique comparison.
Vegas sees this actually going the distance in some way. Yes, it is plus 133. The over 2.5 is plus 104. Climb by decision is plus 850. Fight to start round 3 is minus 129, which is sort of close to even money. Mason Jones round 3 sub is if he wins or could get him in that round 3. Start to be effective. The money is on Mason Jones late, or at least the meaty props are. At least the profit is there, like because Mason Jones by submission, for example, round 3 is plus 2,800. Round 2 by sub is plus 1,900. And I don't think that Ludovic Klein has great submission defense, but I don't see Mason Jones being a submission specialist. He's a control guy.
He controls. Guy.
Yeah, he's got a 36. But he's got a 93% rate of control rate in the clinch. He's got 52% takedown accuracy, and him by decision is plus 200. That's where I think Vegas might be leaning towards. I'm leaning on the opposite. I'm hoping that Ludovic Klein's takedown defense is going to be sufficient. And if I'm going to bet this, which I probably will, I'm going to be on the Ludovic Klein side, and I'm going to look for Ludovic Klein to win and the over at plus 1,400. Lots of value there for me.
I will add, if you go on Ludovic Klein's Instagram, he's training at this place called Kohler Wrestling, strictly wrestling, which is very interesting. I know he's definitely putting in ground game, like definitely putting in the wrestling. I think he's got a game plan where he's going to probably use that as a path to victory, knowing that Mason Jones doesn't have wrestling. Yeah. I know Mason Jones is now alpha male, so he might have picked something up recently, But if you look at his past 5 fights, they're all strikes. They're all striking fights. Alan Patrick, there's no wrestling there. David Onama, there's no takedowns there. Mike Davis fight like striking. Adam Proctor, Joe McColgan, both Cage Warriors. Cage Warriors, they don't wrestle over in England. They just don't do it. They do, but it's, you know what I mean. They're predominantly known for striking.
Yes.
You know, I'm just saying that's just facts.
Ludwig Klein's kickboxing is solid.
On his Instagram, training at this place called Kohler Wrestling, just kind of makes sense that would be his path to victory, and he's got a game plan because he's a professional fighter. They don't go in just haphazardly like a bar brawl. They go in with how am I going to beat this guy? Just saying, just throwing that out there.
So I'm not going to add anything to that other than the fact that I agree with everything that Boutbetter said. And I agree with, sort of your thinking on it. I'm going to take Mason Jones, but I'm not confident in it at all. I think he will do enough at 11-1. I see him as more of the future in this division than Ludwig Klein. And I think he wins the fight, but I also like a prop here. Just one last thing. The fight ends in round 3. Any kind of finish in round 3 is plus 2,000. So even if I just didn't know anything about these two fighters, and I'm just like, well, these two guys are going to fight for 10 minutes, and it's two grown-ass men, and then they start to get worn down, and then sometime in the last 5 minutes of the fight, something happens. So I like that prop. And by the way, Rosta just knocked out Cotton, dude. Aren't you glad you didn't bet on that fucking fight, dude?
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't bet on it.
Rosta I see it. Knocked him the fuck out.
The left hook right there. Boom.
And now is a good time for the $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. So if you are here and you're live, pay very close attention. It's going to be a 2-part question, guys. And so for you, Ranj, and for our other co-host here today, Boutbetter, you obviously cannot answer the question. You can scribble down the answer on the side yourself to see about your MMA knowledge, but you can't answer out loud. For everyone else, brace your motherfucking selves for the question. It's a 2-part question. So listen very carefully. When you answer in the chat here, you have to put both of the answers. It's a 2-part question, right? So we have to put both answers. It's 2 different athletes. And the first person who answers correctly in the chat, that person will be awarded a $25 Amazon gift card. We will get your email tonight. You will send us your email via the gram or something like that. If you haven't won before, if you're a new winner, we'll get your email tonight. We will send you that gift card this weekend. You'll have it via email. You'll have it actually in your hands between tonight and tomorrow. $25 to buy whatever you want to buy for Amazon junk. So here is the first part of the question. Okay, this fighter was once quoted as saying, BJJ was my hobby and crime was my profession. This fighter was once quoted as saying, BJJ was my hobby and crime was my profession. They are on the UFC roster. The second part of the question is, this fighter had a very tough home life, like drugs, parents were on alcohol, just very disturbing home life. And they ended up becoming an author of a book years later. And the central theme of the book was about coming out and dealing with being homosexual. So this fighter had a rough home life, came out later on individually as a homosexual themselves, and then became an author of a book about dealing with homosexuality specifically for children. 2-part answer, guys. The first person who gets the first 2 parts of that right, puts in the chat section, you will win the gift card. Get to work, guys. Google.
That second part of that question has me stumped.
Yeah, I'm stumped. I'm off of that. But I will say here's a stat that we have to look at. Mason Jones absorbed 7.69 strikes per round, whereas Klein Ludovit is at 4.6. Right. Ooh. So if this is going to be a kickboxing match, I'm taking the guy that doesn't absorb as much, because Klein likes, as somebody mentioned here in the chat, he sort of stays back a little bit more, fights at distance, is more of a counter striker. I'm going to take the guy that doesn't absorb as many strikes, and I'm going to take Klein Ludovit in this particular instance, and I'm going to take him to win with the over at plus 1,400, as I mentioned again and again. That's a meaty prop right there. I'm going to bet that. I'm not going to go great on it, like as Manny mentioned, lunch money, not lunch money, or my lunch money is close to $20 because I work at the airport now. So if you buy lunch at the airport, it's going to be $20. So, or $25. So I'm on that particular prop. I'm on Klein Ledovit here. I'm not going to dismiss him. I think Mason Jones, I don't want to say this, but he's so big of chalk. He isn't the most likely or the riskiest English person to lose. But at that number, at minus 360, I just can't bet it. But I'm on Klein Ledovit here. I've been burned by him before, but I've been on his winning side before many times. And I'm going to go back to that well, and I'm on Klein Ledovit. I might hit the money line, but for certain.
You keep saying his last name first. That's like better bout. I like better bout. You know, you keep messing it up. It's bugging me. Ludovic.
You know what the hell he means, Ranj.
I know, Klein Ledovit.
I like he has a name that it works both ways.
He doesn't call him kind of like Craig Paul.
It works both ways. You can't call me Lopez Roberto, right? It doesn't work.
We could just all day long. Tyson Mike, Jackson Michael, Jordan Michael.
Jackson Michael, exactly.
All right.
There's two first names.
Jackson
Even European, it's two first names.
All right.
Charles,
even Mason Jones could be flipped.
I'm taking Mason. Hey, Charles, right, I see your message here, Charles. In about a minute or so, I'll repeat the question. If no one's answered it correctly, I'll repeat it. But what I would do if I were you, Charles, is I would just you could rewind the actual stream, right? You can actually rewind and see the question.
Then he's gonna miss some live footage, live entertainment.
Oh, geez.
You know, we don't want to do that.
We can't have that.
Okay, so you can say it again as we move on with this. Next fight,
Klein authorized 80% takedown defense, by the way, guys.
One of the best face-off guys ever, Paul Craig, coming in with the blue paint. Man. Intense. But you know what, Demir, or not Demir, what's his, Volkan Ozdemir? Ozdemir is not backing down. Look at this. This is the beginning of it.
Paul Craig.
They should show up. He runs out there. Like, Paul Craig runs out there. Like, they don't look at the black guy cracking up in the background right there with the phone. I love him. He's the
looks
best.
like Ultimate Sterling.
He can't stop it. He can't stop it. Look at this guy. Look at him. I love it. Just focus on the guy in the background with the phone.
Yeah. He's
best.
enjoying a good laugh. He definitely is enjoying a good laugh.
He is. This is the time of his life. So he's watching Kevin Hart.
Guys, I already bet Paul Craig at plus 195.
Ooh, so you like Craig outright, huh?
Last week, dude, I got him at plus 195. His submission prop is plus 220. I money line him at plus 195.
Okay, wait. So that's important to repeat that. He locked him in at plus 195 to win the fight outright, which is basically plus 200. Now for him to win by submission is plus 220, you said?
Yeah, plus 205 or plus 2.
Yeah, so see, that's just good betting.
I'm moving my bet.
Yeah, that's smart. And he can win the fight. But it's most likely by submission anyway. That's for sure.
I'm going to bet did you bet Davion Franklin?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I have him in a part.
I was going to go with the underdog, Marcelo.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not. If you didn't bet
because
the guy,
I'm trailing Cody Saptic from Dogger Pass. He had some information.
Yeah, well, I'm taking Lorenz Larkin because I've heard that name before. I'm gonna do
the drum roll, boom, the drum roll. The winner is Charles Herner, and so answer, Charles Herner has won, and Charles Herner.
I have no idea who that is.
I'll enlighten you guys on the actual answers here. So the first part of that question was, this athlete was quoted as saying that what was it here? Oh geez, I even lost my freaking notes here. It's Silva, right? So Silva fights in the first fight in the card. So it's Silva versus Dalby.
Yeah.
Okay. And Claudio Silva, he used to be involved with some gangs and whatnot in his teenage years, got locked up. He once was quoted as saying, BJJ was my hobby and crime was my profession. So
you hinted at that earlier when you said
I dropped a little seed. So the second part of that question is Molly McCann. You see, Molly McCann.
You threw me off. I was thinking about guys.
Yes, Molly McCann. Yeah, she grew up in a very tough home environment. Parents were like drugs and whatever else. And then she wrote a children's book a few years ago with the overarching theme being, coming out and trying to deal with, as a young person, children's book about being gay, and she's obviously a lesbian. So that's the right answer. Right answer is Charles Herner. You will be sent a $25 Amazon gift card. Do me a favor, Charles Herner. Send me your email via Instagram. You'll find me on Instagram. It's MMA Fight Club. If you don't find me, just send it to my buddy right here, Ranj. We'll send you that gift card this weekend.
Yep.
You are the winner of a $25 Amazon gift card. All right.
Sweet. All right. So back to this Ozdemir versus Paul Craig. Craig Paul, as Bout Better wants to call him. But
again, 2 first names.
I know.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true, right there. I'm sorry, that is very true.
Just a recency bias, okay? Paul Craig, his last 5 is 4-0-1. All right. Volkan Ozdemir, his last 5 is 2-3. Just throwing that out there. And if you want to play the MMA math game, there was you have to go further than the last 5. My bad. But anyway, Volkan Ozdemir, he's coming off losses to Magomed Ankalaev. Didn't Paul Craig beat Ankalaev like a last-second submission? Am I right?
Yes,
he did, right? So that is, yeah, Paul Craig has a victory over him. It was a while ago, but still, Volkan Ozdemir lost to him. Then he lost to Jiri Prochazka, champ now, light heavyweight champs. No harm there. He beat Alexander Rakic by split decision. That's good. He beat Ilir Latifi. Yeah. And he lost to Dominic Reyes by split decision as well. Paul Craig, though, his last 5. Nikita Krylov, triangle choke. We'll be talking about Nikita a little bit later. Jamal Hill ripped his arm off, made him a spaghetti arm.
Oh,
dangling.
That was
up. Looking all dangling, looking gross. He beat Shogun Hua, taps to strikes round 2. That was the rematch because the first time they had a draw wasn't good enough for him. And in between the draw and the win, he did also beat Gadzhimurad Antigulov. So looking at these 2 fighters without just looking at their records, their last 5, on paper, Paul Craig height and slight, not much, just slight. But look at it; it's more than an inch, I think. Just looking at the face, he's bigger guy. He is bigger, little bit height and reach advantage for Paul Craig. A better last 5. Volkan Ozdemir, no time. He should change his name. He hasn't used that since Ilir Latifi was the last time he used that. The note, like pointing at his watch. That's what he used to do after he knocked somebody out. No time. But he hasn't used that in a long time.
When was this?
But the Volkan Ozdemir is training at the All-Star Training Center in Stockholm, Sweden, with Kamzat, Alexander Gustafsson, who we'll talk about later, Alan Nascimento, and they've been putting it in over there. On Instagram, it shows they have been putting it in. Paul Craig out of the Scottish Hit Squad, he's been putting it in, but I don't know with who. I see him on Instagram with all these people that I have no idea who they are. So, but Paul Craig, the floor is lava, and Paul Craig is a lava shark. If you go down with Bear Jew on the ground, he can likely submit you.
Trouble.
And I think Volkan Ozdemir is going to end up finding his way to the ground, and Paul Craig's going to get a submission here. Why don't one of you guys give your breakdown?
2 losses are by submission, he has 2 losses by submission, right?
He does. He got was it? You'd have to look at his Tapology. I only have his last 5 written down. But I do know Ozdemir has lost by submission. So
Ozdemir is going to want to go. He's going to want to go down there, just as the other Lithuanian guy did. Everybody cracks Paul Craig. Everybody cracks this guy. And what do? They want to go down for the TKO, and that's going to be his mistake because Paul Craig wakes up. He wakes up. What I hate about betting these subs and some of these props is that Vegas is already onto us. Like plus 220 for him by sub is ridiculous. it sucks that we have to bet sort of something like that, but it is his win method. It's how he is going to be most likely victorious against No Time. But I'm big already on Paul Craig. I bet him on the money line. I got a good price on it. I hate when guys say, "Oh, I got him at +185," blah blah blah. But in this instance, it worked really good because the sub line is almost the same as the line I got him on the money line. So I hammered him on the money line already a week ago. He was at +185. I don't know why people didn't jump on him at that point. Volkan Ozdemir hasn't finished anybody in what, like 5 years? Has it been 5 years since he's finished somebody? And
Ilir
Paul Craig is
I don't know when that was, but Ilir Latifi is the last guy.
3 years. Yeah, 3 years. So everybody is looking at this as not to go the distance, and I think that is the case. And it is the case because Paul Craig is going to submit him. I don't think Paul Craig is going to get a knockout because he has. Here's where the home field advantage is going to play out. The ref is not going to let Paul Craig, even though he's stunned, and this guy is going to rock him. He's not going to call it off. He's going to give Paul Craig the time to recover, and that's all he needs. And he's live for the sub, all three rounds. A lot of people are betting them not to go the distance, which I think is like not a great bet. I think you're better off on the Craig side, or even on Volkan Ozdemir on the finish side. If you're on one side, pick either fighter by finish. But I'm already on Paul Craig. I can't not go to the well. I've been getting on the well. Paul Craig has been one of my golden goose fighters for a long time. A lot of submission guys. Even though I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy myself, I do understand, like, in terms of my betting, winning by sub is probably one of my best prop bets that I've won historically. And I think it's just live here. People are underestimating how good Paul Craig is at MMA jiu-jitsu. He may not be like an ADC.
Quick stat. Jamal Hill landed one significant strike against him. One. Uno.
Well, I think,
against him.
We could do a lot of analysis on this fight and find different paths to victory for both fighters. But the most important stat I've heard, sometimes you got to just keep it simple, right? Like Simple Man. Simple Man has pointed out the most important stat, that Paul Craig has fought more black guys.
Simple guys. He uses that as one of his how to pick fighters. Oh, the one guy's blacker. He's gonna win.
Listen, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I've tried that game before, especially when it's like a random fight. Doesn't work. Anyway, listen. On a serious note, Paul Craig's path to victory by submission is something everyone can see. I do worry though about. He's the kind of guy where, like, at some point he's gonna get knocked out. Like, he did get knocked out his last fight, then he got knocked back in. Like, he was knocked out, he was kind of out, and he got punched, and he's like, "Oh shit, this guy's not gonna stop punching me. Let me wake back up," and he goes right back into submission mode. It's an amazing thing. But at some point, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bow.
Well, this is where that home field advantage, where the ref and the fans are all on Paul Craig. He got his great, if not better, reception from the fans. And I hate to say that they're influenced, that the judges are influenced by the fans, but there will be, in this particular card, there will be a fan influence based on, especially if it goes to decision. Like Molly McCann, we're going to talk about this later. Like, every strike that she lands, same with Patty Finlay, everything that they do positively is going to be vocal. It's going to be a loud, it's going to be demonstrative.
And to underline what you're saying, because I agree 100%, they're going back to London second time this year, second time within 6 months. Dana White has verbalized how much he enjoyed London. And this is business. This is the business of entertainment. Right. The company that owns UFC, Endeavor,
That's
whatever.
That's why you notice all these British fighters are chalky. They're feeding them.
They're feeding them
to win.
Yeah, dude. If it's anything close, like you said, Paul Craig will probably have to be dead. Like, they have to actually pronounce him dead before the referee will call him out in this fight. So yeah, he'll get some extra time. He'll get some extra time to bounce back if he's getting.
He won't get knocked down though. He's, Volkan Ozdemir has got power. He's got some good striking, but if he doesn't put Craig out
Wow! Did that just happen in real time?
No, bro. No,
did he just
no.
It's
a replays, dude. Replays.
Oh, all right.
You're a mess, Ranj.
I just caught it in the corner of my eye. I'm like, what's going on? Just ran into him, got the heel hook super fast.
But to reiterate, I always go back to the well. I've been winning on Paul Craig by submission. Basically, he's one of my main cash cows. I have other Muniz by sub. I had him even against Hall by sub. That hurt me in that last bout. I get some insider information on certain things, at least Muniz, I have insider information. But I always go back to the well. I've been winning with this guy since he was plus 1,000 by sub. We don't see that anymore with Paul Craig. Just like we're going to see Chris Curtis later on, even money. But where was Chris Curtis before?
Yeah,
plus 400 as a underdog, right?
I mean, you can get you can
MMA. he was in a promotional for like 2 decades trying to get to the UFC. Yeah. They wouldn't let him in.
But you were talking about Paul Craig by submission. I am playing round 1 submission for Paul Craig. That's plus 520, and then round 2 is plus 750. I'm playing those 2 spots. I think I'll put more there than I would on a usual prop, because I think it's so likely that Paul Craig gets a round 1 or round 2 submission to get his path to victory. Outside of that, I do worry about his cardio. I think that I'm picking Volkan Ozdemir to win the fight. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. I'm picking him to win the fight, but it's not like a lot of confidence. I'm not backing him with a bet on my line. My 2 favorite bets in this fight are going to be the round 1 sub for Paul Craig, and the fight just not going the distance, which is like minus 360, which is going to be a parlay piece. So
big chalk.
Big chalk. That's where I stand.
All right, good. I'm on the side of with Bout Better. I'm going to take Paul Craig by submission. But, Volkan Ozdemir, he is live. He's a better striker as well. But Paul Craig's just so durable. And Scotland is on the island. It's in the United Kingdom. It's part of it. You know what I mean?
It's in the region.
It is in the region. Ozdemir, you know why he can't? I heard from James Lynch that Volkan Ozdemir doesn't fight in the U.S. because he can't, because he's got visa charges because of some criminal thing. Like he's got, he can't travel to the U.S. because of some criminal background check. He can't seem to pass. I don't know what. He didn't get into detail, but he said that's why you only see Volkan Ozdemir fighting overseas. You'll never see him fight in the U.S. Interesting.
Just go back. Ranj, go back to like jiu-jitsu where jiu-jitsu now is an international sport, and there's another Craig that's one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world, right?
Right.
So just because he is in Scotland and on that island doesn't mean that he does jiu-jitsu is not legit.
I mean, listen, just one final thought on this. Paul Craig's jiu-jitsu is the best in this entire division. That's not even close. He may have the best jiu-jitsu in all of the UFC. That's how good it is. So it's a gigantic factor in every fight.
That's a bold statement.
I don't know.
But at light heavyweight, I agree with you. I don't think anyone else holds the.
I think how about I rephrase it? Off his back, he may have the best jiu-jitsu in the fucking world. Like off his back,
I think Charles Oliveira has better jiu-jitsu off his back, but
yeah. No, you're definitely right. But I'm just making a case here. Like when it comes, and so like he may be the only guy where he'll be at home, like in a home court advantage here, where once he gets taken down and he's on his back, the crowd will cheer, as in like he's right in his wheelhouse. Yes.
Yeah, kind of like he does like Mackenzie Dern, like all the Ryan Hall. Well, Ryan Hall does the whole the rolls to try to get your ankle, but the jiu-jitsu players that's their they always try to get you to the ground. They'll coax you down there. They'll take a purpose fall onto the ground just so you follow them down there.
I did an interview with Jamal Hill, and we talked about the Paul Craig fight. And I'm not going to talk for Jamal Hill, but having interviewed him and talked to him both on and off the air, he's a very proud fighter, and he prides himself on the ground game. And he all but told us in the interview that he wanted to prove a point that he could function on the ground against this guy. So sometimes we can't also discredit that these guys are just like, they're just people, and they make bad fucking decisions. And some people, like in his last fight, was it Krylov, right? Who fought against Craig last time? Why were you down there, dude? Like you were winning the fight entirely.
He was.
Yep. Like why would you knew that was the only place it could be a problem? Were you trying to prove a point? You're trying to put people like, I can fight here. I'm on top. I have top control. So like, don't discredit that some fighters just they make dumb decisions and don't realize that top control with Paul Craig is not a good position. You think you're in top control. You think you're actually on top when you're actually playing with fucking fire.
Well, Manny, one thing I will say about like Muniz and certain jiu-jitsu fighters, and one thing that people don't realize, like there's a grip level, like we're not even talking about a skill level. There's this hand grip that certain people just have, like when they grab you by the wrist. I met Gable, for example, one time, and I shook his hand, and even as a gentleman, we shook his hand, and it hurt me. Like I was like, oh, I wilted, like in his grip. Like even his casual grip was that strong, where it wasn't like his gentlemanly grip was that strong. And I think in some level, like there's a grip, there's technique, there's a lot of things, but I think that Paul Craig might be in that grip level. Like his grip might just be like a literal vice grip. It might be like that. Like once he gets a hold of you, he's gonna grab you and put you where he wants to be. And that's why I'm with Paul Craig, is that people underestimate, like, yes, he has that skill. Yes, he could. What he does is, yes, he has submission abilities, but it's his grip that allows him, like, they just can't get out of it. Like Volkan Ozdemir is gonna have to pull out, and sure, he's gonna have to jump out of it. But what if he doesn't, right? Like everybody assumes that it's all Volkan Ozdemir unless he makes a mistake. And I would say that no. We saw how well Muniz did against Hall. Yes, Hall survived. But how much riding time did Muniz have? How much ability? Muniz was looking for one particular submission night. And I'm not doing MMA math, but Muniz was not using his best strength, which is his arm strength and his hand strength, against his opponent. Whereas I think Paul Craig is going to be able to do that. So that's why I'm on Paul Craig by submission, because I think Volkan Ozdemir has lost by submission before. Craig's in that home crowd. I have to go with that. Yeah, I know it's not a parlay. It almost seems like it seems like a casual bet and a simple bet. But I'm going to go to that well. I'm going to go to the Golden Goose. I'm going to bet him by submission. I already have him on the money line, as I mentioned, at plus 195, and I'm going to stick to that. And get here, if we get down the line and I'm winning some more money, I'm going to double down on my bets. That's just me.
You've definitely convinced me of a few things. I think if you're going to bet this fight, right? Like, I mean, listen to this idea. Either Volkan Ozdemir like hurts him, KOs him, finishes him at plus 140, or Craig submits him at plus 250, and the fight does not go the distance. I mean, seems to be like, these are things that I can feel very confident about. No distance, submission, or TKO. Someone gets finished here. Do you guys agree?
I like the over 1.5, but that not to go the distance is risky. I don't think it's a given. But both these guys are finishers. But because Volkan is not a finisher, he hasn't been a finisher in his last 5 bouts.
That's a good point.
So like I said, no, he hasn't used no time since Ilir Latifi.
It's been a long time.
Long time since he's had to use the no time.
Long time is not a good time.
Sucky long time.
All right, let's clean it up. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the next one.
One more time. Look, just focus on the guy with the phone in the background. Look at right there, loving life.
Hilarious.
You see him on the right side of the screen?
He stopped recording at that point. He's like, "This is just."
I know, he don't even care. He's just loving life. Oh, great!
How cool does Paul Craig look with that makeup? He reminds me. He's a bigger, better. What's the movie we're talking about? What's the movie that he's being?
I do want to say
Braveheart.
Not to
Braveheart.
I don't want. Yeah, he's got that Braveheart shit going on, but like that's probably the darkest paint you can go with before you're being accused of blackface. So like he's definitely like on the edge there. Like like that's the if it was darker lighting
painted, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it only half painted?
Is it?
And the other half's white or something?
Oh, I thought it was the whole thing. Oh, if it's half,
it is almost.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, all right, let's move up. Now we got this female fight, flyweight fight between Meatball and Molly McCann, Hannah Goldie, Molly McCann minus 450. Yeah, unreal. But she does legitimately, out of all these fighters, she's gonna feed the most off the energy of the crowd. Her and Patty Pimblett, of course. But the two of them, they do get energy from the fans being at home. If this fight was in the States, Hannah Goldie, the odds would be a lot different, I think. But because it's in London, Molly McCann is, if it does go decision, she's almost guaranteed to get that. You know, she had that spinning back elbow against Luana Carolina, but that fight against Luana Carolina, arguably Carolina was up on the scorecards until that third round. She was spinning back elbow.
Oh, absolutely not.
I think so. I don't know. It's close. I think it might have been 1-1 the rounds. I think it was 1-1 going into, like 2019 or 20.
Maybe it was even, yeah.
2019, 2019. 1-1 going into that third round, I think. But anyway, doesn't matter. Because she got the spinning back elbow, which is phenomenal too. And she practices that. I watched it on Instagram. She definitely trains for that spinning back elbow. But before that, she has a win against Ji Yeon Kim, who's not that great. She lost now twice. She lost to Laura Procopio. Well, now it's Lara Fritzen. Fritzen. She must have got married. And she lost to Taylor Santos, that's understandable. And she beat Diana Belbita. Hannah Goldie, though, lost to Diana Belbita, so that's not good. She beat Emily Whitmire by armbar.
Poor girl. She's listening to the podcast, Ranj. God damn you.
What? Is she? No offense, Emily Whitmire. Spitfire. Emily Spitfire.
There you go. Way to clean it up.
But what does Hannah Goldie have going for her? She's been exclusively training hard with Felicia Spencer from Fusion XL. Or at Fusion XL. Felicia Spencer, if you guys don't know, she's retired now. She retired this past year, but she's still very active into the whole scene, coaching. Now she's just doing it as a fatter girl. She doesn't have to worry about
Whoa.
It's true. It's true. Look at the Instagram. She doesn't care about making weight. Felicia Spencer is all about coaching now. She's just all about training up Hannah Goldie. Hannah Goldie does have the OnlyFans, $19.99 a month. Little too muscular for my taste, but some people are into that.
How do you know
that? She has a son. His name is Odin. What?
How do you know about it? Her being too muscular for your liking and the price?
Because I don't. I like girls a little softer.
Okay.
So if Molly McCann wasn't lesbian, that'd be more my body type. You know the Howlerhead girl.
So you did 1 month subscription to Hannah Goldie and said nah. That's it.
No, she just got her jawline. She's got the boxy, strong jawline.
She does.
Shoulders. She looks like she's like a Ariana Carnelosi kind of type body.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
I am. She just bought a house in Orlando. Hasn't even moved in yet. She bought it and then she came out to London to fight. Okay. So interesting things going on in Hannah Goldie's life. But she's going up against tough. She's going against the crowd. She's going against the hype. She's going against Meatball. But at minus 450, Meatball does not make my parlays. And if anything, I might even throw a little flyer on Hannah Goldie just because she's plus 350. And it's a women's fight, female fight, and she's tough as nails. She is very durable. It's gonna go to decision. Obviously, it's a female fight. Unless McCann can get one of those spinning back elbows that she's been training them. So I don't know. What do you guys have to say about this fight?
You got the floor there about better. Take the lead, homie.
I'm not happy about any of the odds on this bout except for Hannah Goldie. Both have horrible striking defense. They are have horrible grappling, actually. You might think that Molly McCann has a grappling advantage here, but I think Hannah Goldie has a better rate of control. Molly's just more active. Goldie beat Jillian Robinson, who's a common opponent, right? Guys,
she did beat her? When was that? That must
have she did beat her first fight, like something like that. Her first fight.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the thing is here is this despite Meatball having this wrestling background, Hannah Goldie actually has a better rate of control and a percentage of time in a control position. The odds here are horrible. Yes to go the distance is -225. Winner via decision, just any fighter to go decision is -225 as well. Molly McCann round 3 decision is -180. Molly to win and over 1.5 is -275. All the value, all the meat is on Hannah Goldie. I can't bring myself to put myself in Hannah Goldie's position because both these guys have horrible XR numbers, and I haven't mentioned the XR number and XR percentage. I mentioned this in my channel a lot, and this is just the amount of rounds that they will win for percentage rounds or likely to win. But I'm really just off of this. I didn't see a position here. I didn't see anything that I liked here. You know, McCann has double the fights. She has a lot more experience. It's her fight to win in her home crowd. But like you're saying, Ranj, I think that +330 or +350, a lunch money bet, lottery ticket bet on Hannah Goldie might be in order. You know,
is that Molly's girlfriend there holding their jacket? You think holding her jacket and doing the phone there? You think that's Molly's girlfriend? No, I'm asking seriously. I bet she is.
She's kind of cute.
She followed her on stage. What?
Molly has faced far better competition. She's far more active. Hannah Goldie is no joke. Even though she's like, you don't like that physical ability. Let's see how it translates into the octagon against Molly McCann, because Molly is not a finisher. She hasn't faced, you know, even though she's faced better competition, she's not really a top 10, top 15 fighter. And Hannah Goldie is sort of on the upcoming side, right? She was an Invicta champion. She has less experience, but she has, I think, a little bit more of the upside because she's a control fighter, a little bit better of a control fighter than Molly McCann. But I'm off this bout. The lines are skewed. So I have to be with Hannah Goldie like you would be, because I got to go chase the plus money. Plus money. Gotta chase that plus money at +330 or better. I'm picking Molly McCann to win, but I'm going to bet Hannah Goldie here to win, possibly even by decision at +650. I just don't see Molly McCann dominating Hannah Goldie despite what everybody else thinks.
Well. I can't tell you.
Girlfriend is a sausage. that might be
that's
up
really good.
for the comment of the night right there.
I know. That's really good. I think that because this is entertainment, sports, this is entertainment, right? We're here for a show. UFC's putting on a show in London. Molly McCann winning is part of that show. They're lining her up to win. I think the bettors are kind of aware of that. So the money line has just been inflated, and she's become a popular parlay piece. You know, probably doesn't make sense to bet on her now.
Parlay that shit.
I mean, you could parlay it, I guess. I mean, but it's like, what value do you get? I don't know. It depends on how deep your parlay is. I did parlay it already. I had it in a parlay a week ago. I parlayed it with actually I parlayed it with some Invicta stuff from Wednesday. So
yeah, it's pretty confident, guaranteed win. Just the value.
I think she wins. Now I do want to be more specific regarding Hannah Goldie. I've broke down her prior fights. I thought she was going to lose in her last fight against Emily Whitmire. She ends up getting a round 1 submission win. Prove me wrong. But I think there's like real athletic deficiencies in her game. She's very robotic in her movements. Her arms are so short, I don't think she can actually hold on to a body lock. She just has a lot of things about her game that are just deficient. And I just want to say one more thing about women's MMA at this point, 2020, 2022. In 5-6 years from now, when the athletes get better, girls like Molly McCann and Hannah Goldie won't be able to be in the UFC anymore. These girls are still here because the competition level is still low. Once we get better athletes and better fighters into this combat sports thing, these kind of girls won't be around anymore, because these two girls right here, when you break them down individually, they're not very good fighters. They're both very sloppy. And Molly McCann is exciting, entertainer. I love that part of her, but she's not a very good fighter and gets hit a lot. Does a lot of things wrong, exposes herself. And if she was fighting a good opponent, I bet against her. But Hannah Goldie's not very good either. So I'm on Molly McCann to win the fight.
Agreed. I'm going to be pulling for Goldie, but Molly McCann should.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with betting on Goldie. That's important to realize, because at plus, once you get to anything plus 200 or greater, how about that? It doesn't matter who's fighting.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it at that, because the other side's going to be minus 250, minus 300, minus whatever you're talking about. If you have, I always like to use the analogy, if you have like $10 to bet for the rest of the night, are you going to bet it that someone's going to pay you back like $1 winnings, or are you going to pay you back actually something that matters? So, like, you know, the reality here is the best bet is on Hannah Goldie for the money line.
Plus money.
Yeah. There are some props I looked at, by the way. Hannah Goldie by submission at any point, and she won her last fight by submission. Any point by submission is plus 1,400.
Marcelo Gomez bleeding like
dude. Franklin busted him up. He did.
He's bleeding. Yeah, he's bleeding like Nate Diaz all over the place.
Which is great, because I got Franklin. So, you know,
I'm glad I didn't bet that.
Yeah, dude.
You told me not to bet it.
But you know, I know you were trying to chase that plus money, but sometimes it's not worth it. So, you know.
I know.
Jimmy Robinson submitted Molly McCann, by the way, and then I love Jillian Robinson.
So that submission prop plus 1,400 anytime submission by Hannah Goldie is a must play for me on this fight. I mean, I'm playing that prop. I'm also going to play.
Did you have any submission victories?
Hannah Goldie, yeah, she won her last fight by submission.
Yeah, armbar. Emily Shipmeyer.
Yeah. Now, granted, I get it. It's not a great opponent, and she's only got one submission, win in her career. But, like, it is what it is. Like, I mean, maybe she scoops it up again. I also do like, though, on the other side, Molly McCann, like, getting wild and crazy and beating her up. A round 2 or round 3 TKO by Molly McCann, those are, like, way in the plus. When, like, plus 1,300, plus 1,900. Those are props that I'll definitely be playing, because if it gets to round 3, it gets a little ugly, crazy. Molly McCann's just a nut. I mean, she's gonna do some wild shit.
The judges help there.
What was that? The
judges are gonna have to, like, intervene, because her to win and just over 1.5 is minus 275, right? Like, Molly McCann is not a finisher. She's not this, like, strong grappler, more strong in the hands. She's not even a volume.
Yeah, but let me
was a little bit of a luck.
But let me try to convince
that last fight against Luana. Did you see, like, cardio problems with Molly McCann? Did you see her fading at all?
I mean, I think she gets sloppy too. She gets very sloppy when she gets tired.
How about Hannah Goldie?
Both are sloppy.
How about Hannah Goldie? How's her cardio? I know she's muscular, so she probably starts getting.
She's got that Rodolfo Vieira shit going on. She's so muscular that she fades, and I think that if Molly McCann comes out in round 2 or 3 and has enough cardio to have like a 30-second spurt and just go wild on her ass, like just spinning shit, throwing knees, whatever, I think Hannah Goldie just folds up, TKO. Not even hurt, just like. I see Molly McCann doing something like that. Like, the crowd goes good. She's like, Molly, meatball. And boom, goes in there just like a meatball, just, TKOs her. Because I'm not sold on Hannah Goldie at all. I think Hannah Goldie is, I don't know.
Yeah.
You think she's like a CrossFit kind of fighter of some form?
Yes. Thank you. That's worth. I'm looking for that. I'm trying to explain it in a polite way. I don't think she's actually really into the fight game. And if you look back at her bio, like, she went to a fight years ago, Madison Square Garden, with her father, and that's how she kind of got into it. She's from Vermont, kind of became, wasn't like a former wrestler or karate person like in middle school or high school. Kind of did this thing late. OnlyFans is a big thing for her. She fights like once a year. I mean, the arms are so short. Like, her arms are literally so short. She won't be able to reach Molly McCann. Molly McCann usually has to reach this advantage in most of her matchups. In this matchup, it'd be like a 1-inch advantage for her. Molly McCann's going to piece her up, and I think actually force her at some point to more or less give up. And the crowd, listen, the crowd's going wild. They want the finish. The referee's like, yeah, fuck it. I'll give the finish. Here we go. TKO.
Yeah, other than Patty Pimblett, and yes, in the main event, I think there might be more fan kind of energy in this bout more than any other bout. And if somebody's going to crack, I don't know Hannah Goldie, but if there is going to be a home field advantage, Molly McCann has that in this particular bout, but she should not be minus 435.
No,
she
you're right.
That's
against
anybody.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, like
right.
against anybody. Like, so yes, I see that, but McCann is not a finisher. I wish I was more on the Instagram side like Ranj is, where I could see what Hannah Goldie's doing more than OnlyFans. Because sometimes that is important. I think there is something
She's
to be
training
learned.
with Felicia Spencer. Felicia Spencer. Remember her? Training with her.
I love
Fusion XL.
Felicia Spencer. I like Felicia Spencer. I'm a Canadian lover. I love my thick Canadian women.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
And she does a lot of she's a media whore too. She does filters. She looks way prettier than she really is because of filters and stuff. She does like a lot of that.
You're giving some very good fight attributes in this particular moment here.
Huh?
We're talking about fighting, not the OnlyFans.
No, I'm telling you, her Instagram. Her Instagram it shows sporadic images of her training, but a lot of it is more. I'm saying, telling you, that's what she does outside of,
There's a lot of extra.
Yeah, a lot of extra stuff that's not fighting.
I don't like the
Molly's writing kids' books about being gay. So, hey,
is
whatever works for you. Huh?
Yeah, you guys are exposing me to things that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I look at the numbers. I look at rounds. I watch video. I don't do this Instagram stuff.
Oh my god! Yeah. Well, Ranj is very educated in the gram. He does the research.
He's a grammer.
He's a grammer.
Because that's the post from the
legitimate value in the gram.
And he has one of the.
But Ranj, I do not. Are you a gold here? Full disclosure. Who are your OnlyFans? Who do you subscribe to?
I don't subscribe to any of them. Yeah. Zero. None.
Bullshit.
I just swear to God, I don't.
I think he's lying.
It's okay. You don't have to lie to us.
No, I don't. It's not worth my $20, $30.
I've thought about it a few times, but I never pulled the trigger.
I don't go to
at least Manny's admitting it.
I'd rather go to a bar, put some charm on, really, get somebody rather strip club. You're gonna pay for blue balls. I mean, why? Why waste your money when you can just use some charm at a bar and buy a couple drinks, and if you play your cards right, you never know what happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I'm that type of guy. I'm very thrifty with my money when it comes to. I'm not gonna spend money on OnlyFans.
I have to
admit, so much stuff for free. Why would I spend? Like, if I want to see Hannah Goldie and parts of her that I'm sure you can find it,
butt naked.
I'm sure you can find it. Reddit. Remember, Manny? Manny said you can find it on Reddit.
It's available on Reddit. She's all there.
Manny's over there doing the search.
So why spend $20 a month when you can just get it for free?
It's free.
Free. I'm on Ranj's side. I don't have to.
But back to the serious stuff. Yeah, go ahead. Back to the serious shit. Right. Go ahead. Tell him.
All right.
Back to the serious stuff. Both these guys are horrible strikers.
Yeah.
Horrible defense. Molly is more active.
Here we are. Nikita Krylov and we're going up the card, right? The minor versus the mauler.
All that stuff doesn't matter.
Charles, if you're here, Charles, yes, you won the prize. Charles Herner was the winner of the last Amazon gift card prize, which we asked. We're going to be asking another one, so stay tuned. We're giving away another $20 Amazon gift card.
Ranj, you're a grappler. Who do you think has better grappling ability in this instance, Hannah Goldie or Molly McCann?
Ooh.
I want to give the edge to Hannah because she's American.
American.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
the British aren't known for their grappling. That's
Molly's
but
very
Molly's
sloppy.
gonna piece her up on the feet. Doesn't matter. Hannah's not that good. It's not like she's a standout wrestler.
Molly's not that good on the feet, and Molly has she was hit by Carolina. Molly has no striking defense. She's just like Patty. She's willing to take one to give two, right? So
no, she's willing to take 5 to give 1.
Sure that
she's willing to take 5 to give 1.
It's a point.
She's meatball. It's in her name. It's Molly Meatball.
But the odds are totally not correct.
Well, what they're doing is, I mean, think about this. The casinos are making you pay the chalk because they know what everyone else knows. Home court advantage. She has the momentum. Yeah. We just did London Part 1. This is London Part 2. Like, they're just making you pay the chalk. She's going to win, though.
Right. That's why Hannah Goldie might be worth the sprinkle, just the scratch-off ticket.
That's just because.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But we're moving on. We're going to move to this. Alexander Gustafsson, the return of Alexander Gustafsson taking on Nikita Krylov. Now, here's some unanswered questions because Nikita Krylov did not answer anything through his Instagram because he hasn't posted anything in 19 weeks. All right. Interesting enough.
Oh,
and you got to
wait, Ron. Instagram research over here. This guy.
Yeah. Well, you get a lot of information off Instagram. I'm telling you. But Nikita Krylov, you don't, because Nikita Krylov, as I mentioned, he hasn't posted anything in 19 weeks. And last time he posted, he was saying he was training at a Fight Masters in Donetsk, Ukraine. Ukraine's at war. So I highly doubt he's still training at Donetsk Fight Masters with Sergey Pavlovich. I just don't see that.
No one's training there.
So exactly. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions about where the hell is Nikita Krylov training at. Does anybody know? No one can tell me. I don't know. Alexander Gustafsson, though, I know where he's training at the All-Star Training Center with Khamzat, Alan Nascimento, and Volkan Ozdemir. He's got the pictures to prove it. So he's definitely back on his horse where he used to be a contender, high level. He beat Glover Teixeira. He beat Jan Blachowicz. He lost his last 3, but they're listening to the people he lost to. Fabricio Verdum, not fantastic. Anthony Lionheart-Smith, fantastic. And John Jones, disputably the GOAT of the light heavyweight division. But I'm just saying, so you can't really – a lot of people are like, oh, but Alexander Gustafsson, he hasn't fought in a while last time. And that Fabricio Verdum, that was a heavyweight. This is back down to his natural weight, light heavyweight, 205er. And he's plus money, like plus 175, I think. Something crazy.
He looked like shit in his last fight.
What's that?
He looked like crap in his last fight.
Yeah, going against a heavyweight in his wrong division, wrong fight, weight class and everything. And that was also before he moved camps out of Switzerland. Now he's in Sweden with All-Stars, and the morale at All-Stars. Khamzat has, my brother. He's got all those guys riding that hype of the All-Stars Training Center. Him, Volkan Ozdemir. That's why that Paul Craig thing. I'm still shaky on that. And I think Alexander Gustafsson has refound his love of fighting. I know he retired once and stuff, and there's all this negative talk about Alexander Gustafsson, but I want to believe that he's back into. I saw his media day, and he's like, 205 is my weight. I should. He realized that he's had no regrets fighting at heavyweight. He appreciates the experience, but 205 is where he belongs, and he was a high-ranking contender at 205 at one point. And Nikita Krylov, I don't even know where he's training. He's coming off losses himself to Paul Craig, Magomed Ankalaev. He lost to Glover Teixeira. You want to play MMA math game? Alexander Gustafsson took him out round 5 by punches. Nikita Krylov lost to him. Split decision. I'm just saying it's kind of Nikita Krylov, he shouldn't be a minus 204, a big favorite like that. I'm going to take the underdog here in Gustafsson, despite being 5 years older. I know he's 35. but I'm not listening to none of that negativity. I think he's going to get the surprise victory here over the Ukrainian Nikita Krylov. Now go ahead. Convince me otherwise.
Ranj, I want all these tickets to cash, buddy. Brother, I want all these to cash too. But wanna and thinking that they're going to win, it's not going to happen. I got a box full of tickets that are losers, right?
Why do we even keep them then?
I keep all of them.
I know. Why?
I keep them all.
I keep them because they remind me, and I have a record beyond of the actual record of what people might put online. I know where I'm at, right?
Full disclosure. You got a closet full of these losing tickets. Where's your?
I got tickets over here. Wait, I got more tickets over here. Look, I got tickets over there. I got tickets everywhere. I got them all over the place.
They're fire starters to me. They go start a fire out in the yard. You use those losing tickets. I keep losing tickets. You turn them into tax time. Here, in New York State, you can turn in losing scratch-off tickets for tax credit at the end of the year. Swear to God.
Get out of here. Yeah. I think here in Illinois, I probably can write off a certain amount of my losing.
You can't write them all off, but you can turn in losing tickets as like a tax thing for. But I don't. I mean, I don't.
Frankly, I know that a lot of people are like everything that I've looked at statistically goes to that not to go the distance at -167. I don't like that. I don't like, because I'm a plus money, like that plus money, like both these guys have incredible finish rates. I mean, 85% between these guys, 85% of these fights between these guys end in distance. And in the UFC, 75% end in distance. Krylov, I don't trust Krylov though, right? So I like your Gustafsson play here. Gustafsson by decision plus 420, him by TKO plus 475, him by finish plus 350. I can't bring myself to bet any of these because, yes, I love the Krylov's finish rate. He's got a 90% finish rate. 71% of his fights end in distance. He has better XR numbers. Just actually, they both have good takedown defense. And I think Krylov's, like, even though he got subbed by Paul Craig, his means the victory is using his grappling against Gustafsson, but we don't know what fucking Gustafsson we're going to see. Everybody says this. And I agree. He sucked the last time. We haven't seen the same guy. Both have been KO'd. Both have never been subbed. Gustafsson has more knockout wins. But Gustafsson's actually faced more grapplers and has a better grappling.
Look at the UFC girl in the background checking out Gustafsson. Ice Viking happened to point that out. On point with that. Oh, yeah. I like the observance.
Is she looking at Gustafsson or is she looking at Krylov?
She is. I think so. I don't know. One of them. But she's ornery. Ring girl approves. Let's kick it back and see if we can find out.
It's hard for me to bet that not to go the distance at -167. Rather than that, if you're betting that, bet the over 1.5 at -182. I'm staying away from this bout. I want to bet Gustafsson. I think he is the better striker. I think, and here's the other thing. I think he could actually be the better counter grappler, or even offensive grappler in this particular instance. But his last performance, the guy just doesn't seem. But he looked good at the weigh-in, and the weight difference, size difference, as they're showing on the screen, is there. But I'm not there at the ticket for any of these guys. I think they're better spots all over the place in this card. This is either Gustafsson or pass, and I'm not betting Gustafsson in this particular instance.
Whew, yeah. I agree with a lot of your sentiments. I'm just worried about the age here. I feel like he's been through so much. I mean, it's a concern everyone has. I mean, been through so much, kind of a long layoff. I just cannot get behind the old man here. I'm worried about him. Nikita Krylov has low fighter IQ. I mean, what he did last fight, silly, not smart. But I'm going to take Krylov to win the fight. I think Alexander Gustafsson, has just been through too many wars. I'm worried about just how much treads left on the tires, and just for that reason alone, I'm going to be on Krylov to win. That's my pick, guys.
Okay. I got to answer some of these. Prodigy, it's already 3 is kind of crowd. Like I would, I don't like to crowd the scene with, especially if I'm sharing a screen with the weigh-ins. It's just too much. So I know he wanted to come in. Maybe next week, bud. Maybe next week. These we'll give our most confident single plus money bets after we cover the main event, which is going to be in 3 more fights. So after that, we'll go through and we'll do our best. We'll do our 3-leg parlay, and we'll do our single play plus monies. And I think that's it. Okay, appreciate it. Roberto, are you drinking? How's your pale ale? You drinking some fancy Indian pale ale?
I'm now on to the regular Goose. Like none of the specialty beers. I'm on to the Goose. We always drink it over here, but we also always have great beers, great cigars. Appreciate you thinking about me. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're gonna continue with this. Let's one final time with who's everybody's picks. Me and about better. You're on Gustafsson also, and Manny.
I think I'm a pass. I'm not going to bet on this fight. Okay. Maybe I'll live bet it. If I see Gustafsson get a takedown defense and he doesn't let Krylov immediately, if Krylov doesn't get a takedown in the first round and he wants to stand and bang with Gustafsson, I'm on Gustafsson. Big time.
Okay. Yep.
Well, now we're getting ready for the second most entertaining face-off. Patty the baddie.
Patty the baddie.
Patty the fatty when he's not fighting. He blows up to like 200 pounds. A little over 200 pounds.
He's a shapeshifter. He's a shapeshifter.
Look at Jordan Levitt though, just being a ham, just hamming it up.
Dude, he is so.
Hey, Patty. Found him.
Hey, what do you guys think about the pizza reviews?
The what?
The Barstool pizza review?
I haven't watched them.
He's there see him with Patty right there? The Barstool owner.
Oh, he's right there.
What is that? That guy with
you haven't watched him? How's the pizza by your house?
I think I've seen him before, but I didn't know. Which guy is it?
Well, that's why he paid $1 million to Patty, is that he could be up there. He was banned from the NFL, and he makes his pizza reviews. And he came over here to Chicago, and he gave us some bad reviews. So I'm not hating on the guy, but he doesn't I give the beer and the cigar reviews.
He paid Patty $1 million. You're saying?
More than $1 million. I think $2 million.
For what?
Patty is sponsored by Barstool Sports.
I heard that. But I didn't know.
Just so he can go up there with him and have some clout with Patty.
Basically.
Wow, dude, he just paid $2 million like rich people money to be like, listen, that's my dude.
No, because Patty is obligated to notice when Patty went to San Diego. He went to the San Diego baseball game, and he went to these other events.
I saw that with Molly McCann. They both
that was all on Barstool Sports. And Barstool, they are sort of the stepchild. There's a Barstool here in Chicago, and I have to give them credit. I would love to work for them. It's not going to happen.
They have their own book too, but they don't accept bettors from New York. I can't bet through Barstool Sports.
Wow.
But
they got some sharp guys over there.
The guy with that blue T-shirt right there, that light blue T-shirt, is that him?
The guy, I don't know. You have to replay it. He's on the left-hand side. He's throwing out shit.
It's not the guy in the middle there. It's one of the guys who came up with Patty. It's one of the people.
But he gave bad reviews on the Chicago pizza. He just didn't know where to go. Right? Like, and he's always in New York because he's a New Yorker.
I didn't see who he came up with, so that's maybe we'll see it on the.
Oh, Patty.
When he
Patty.
Comes in. All right, and stop. Is the guy with the camera the maroon UFC shirt?
Far left, far right, or far left of you.
The black hoodie, zip down hoodie. That guy.
No, the other guy. Not with the camera. That guy. Yes.
Wow.
He's the owner of Barstool Sports, accused of multiple sexual harassment suits and all this kind of NFL shit.
Oh, he looks kind of like
banned from the NFL.
Oh, he's got the Patty the Batty hoodie.
Like when you say banned from the NFL, like he cannot attend any NFL activity.
Yeah, he's blacklisted.
Wow.
He's sucks. I don't agree with it. I think it's bullshit. You know, like there should be a fair market. Like he's basically one of us. Like think of us. Like if you get to the highest level of being a YouTuber or whatever, Barstool was not really big at one point. I saw that shit grow.
Now. He's right there, and right the furthest, not the guy with the blue shirt, but the next furthest one on the left.
They've grown before our eyes. That's right. They've grown before our eyes. That's true.
Yeah, they've grown before our eyes, become significant. And there are guys here. There's a Barstool bar over here in Chicago where you could go to and you could,
they're going to have they had an actual physical bar. That's crazy, dude.
But they were more of a media outlet, and they always have been. And he started off on those stupid fights, like they had the bar. You don't know those Barstool bar fight things that they had. It's not like street beefs, but it's Barstool shit.
I kind of like Monkey Knife Fights has stuff now like that, like similar, like they do like.
No, Monkey Knife Fights is different. I mean, I was the first capper to make Monkey Knife Fight picks and content. Didn't get any credit for it or anything. And Monkey Knife Fights.
No, I know We Want Picks does them. We Want Picks. Angelo and Jacob.
I made a lot of money off Monkey Knife Fights. I made a lot of money off Monkey Knife Fights.
That's interesting about the Barstool Sport. I didn't know he paid him that much money.
That's
I know
wild.
He did. He had sponsorship from Barstool Sports, but I didn't know it was over $1 million. That's crazy.
Oh, it's like $2 million, maybe more.
Let's talk about the fighting now. Patty Pimblett, another huge chalky favorite, right? Am I correct?
No, it's not that bad.
Like plus 240 by TKO.
Oh, okay, not that bad. Not that bad.
Minus 250-ish, you know.
Yeah, not that bad.
Minus 286 over here in Chicago.
Getting worse.
He is on a nice little streak, but let's see let's tear it apart a little bit. Rodrigo Vargas, rear naked choke, round 1. God, that was kind of, they fed him.
Yep.
Luigi Vendramini, up to until this fight, the toughest competition he had, took care of him hooks, round 1. That was the UFC debut. That's what got him that Barstool Sports sponsorship, I do believe. Well, actually, it didn't happen until after the Vargas fight, but still. Before that, he was a Cage Warriors surprise champion where he beat Decky Dalton. Decky Dalton's good, though. And David Martinez, but Soren Beck beat him in Cage Warriors by unanimous decision. That was within his last 5 fights, too.
Not a great
one. Will have the slight height and reach advantage over Jordan Levitt, the Monkey King. Jordan Levitt, horrible stand-up. That's why UFC gave Patty this fight, because he realizes Jordan Levitt can't strike. He's horrible stand-up.
Patty can't strike either.
His only path to victory is if he gets to the ground and manages to submit somehow Patty Pimblett, but Patty Pimblett's keen on that. He knows. So I'm sure he's been in camp working on how to defend takedowns from Jordan Levitt. But Jordan Levitt, kind of like Paul Craig, as we mentioned earlier, he'll coax you to the ground. He'll figure out a way to get the fight to the ground. But I think Patty's ground game is comparable enough to withstand. But I don't know. It's tough. Jordan Levitt might be able to pull off some crazy inverted triangle or something like he did against Matt Sales, or arm triangle like he did against Luke Flores. I mean, he might be able to pull something crazy off. But I got to go with the hometown favorite, Liverpool's own Paddy Pimblett. I just have to. But Jordan Levitt, I wouldn't count him out for a submission victory. I mean, but I think UFC fed Paddy this fight just to improve his, his hype. So, what are your guys' take on this?
You got it, pal. Better.
My goodness. I mean, I hate to be on Paddy's. Like, I want to fade Paddy because Paddy. Did you see his striking? Do you actually look at his fights and his striking? His striking is horrible. His jiu-jitsu sucks. Like, but at the same time, Jordan Levitt's striking is even worse, and his jiu-jitsu is
good,
close to being on par. Like, we're really just like splitting hairs on their like MMA jiu-jitsu here.
It's just methodical. He moves like he's playing chess. Like he thinks too much. It's not natural. It's not like flow. It's not
exactly.
He has to think.
He's not slick. Oh. He's not slick.
Yeah.
Jordan Levitt is not slick with the jiu-jitsu. I've been betting.
What was that?
I've been betting Jordan Levitt by submission, and Jordan Levitt all his fights, and I've been winning them. Same with Paddy Pimblett. I've been betting Paddy Pimblett by finish and winning. And here's an instance where, we know Paddy Pimblett is a finisher. I'm looking at that Paddy Pimblett by TKO at plus 240, Pimblett round 1 at plus 525. I mean, Jordan Levitt, surprisingly, even though that like Paddy Pimblett has been dissing him, has actually faced better competition just in a short sample of victories. But Jordan Levitt by submission is plus 700, and I don't think he's going to get Paddy there. Paddy is talking what he is going to do. He's going to stay away. He's going to keep this on the feet, and he's going to have no problem doing that. And Jordan Levitt has, both of these guys have horrible wrestling, horrible striking. Like, Paddy Pimblett could just bum rush him and say, fuck this, I'm going to knock you out. I think that's what
his game plan is, too.
Yeah.
I think
he could do that. He could just do it, and there's nothing that Jordan Levitt could do about it. If Jordan Levitt cannot get on the ground, he cannot win this fight. And Paddy Pimblett knows that, and we all know that. That's why the odds are what they are. I think Paddy Pimblett, to an extent, is a value. I hate to say that, at minus 286, because he does take so much damage. Both these guys have horrible striking defense. Just Jordan Levitt is not the guy to test that defense, but somebody is. Like, it just isn't. This fight is all Paddy Pimblett all day, plus 240 at TKO. Paddy Pimblett, round 1, plus 525. Jordan Levitt, plus 700 if you're on that side by submission. But I'm really just leaning on Paddy Pimblett, and I'm going to parlay him. Still going to be a parlay piece at minus 286. I always want to bet Jordan Levitt. Wish I could in this instance, but I think that Paddy Pimblett going to keep this on the feet. He's going to get that TKO or club and sub, but I think the plus 240 at TKO is going to be my play.
Okay. Manny?
Yeah, I mean, the minute this fight got announced, I was all over Paddy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Jordan Levitt in terms of like his, fighting ability. He's a one-way fighter. It's on the ground. Yeah, one trick pony. He's just on the ground, submission only, and on the feet, his striking is hard to watch. Like, unless you've never watched, I guess, a boxing match, his striking is so rough and just awkward and like this, like weird, like just, it's just a mess. And
yeah, I totally feel it.
You know what I mean? And like, even though Paddy is not a amazing striker either. He's like no Floyd Mayweather, and his striking defense is not great, and he's kind of wild. But man, like he's definitely better than what Jordan offers on the feet. Now on the ground, I do think Jordan obviously has some kind of submission advantage, but like I don't know, it has to be the perfect spot. Patty's okay on the ground as long as Patty keeps it at some type of distance. He should win. But man, could you imagine if fucking this guy Levitt comes over there and beats Patty over there? Oh my God, it would be crazy. The crowd would go from cheering to complete just.
Oh, Patty's not tapping.
Jordan Levitt picked himself to get a round 1 finish, and he said after that happens, he's gonna definitely twerk and piss off all those Brits.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna bet either guy straight up in the money line. I've already parlayed Patty, so I'm already exposed from that standpoint. I'm going to play the prop bet of Jordan to win by submission, which is plus 600. I'm going to play that prop, but like I think Patty should win. I think the UFC is giving him a layup. I tweeted this out a few days ago, and it kind of went around. People retweeted it quite a bit, but I thought the UFC right here, if they wanted to actually give Patty Pimblett a tough fight, they could have given him some pretty tough fighters. They gave him a layup here.
Yeah,
this is my opinion.
Agreed. That's what I said. They matched this up perfectly for a Patty win. Guy that can't strike.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yep. Levitt is like he's crafty. He does
I hope he picks him up and stamps him like Matt Wyman. That won't happen, but imagine.
Yeah.
No, Patty's striking both these guys' striking defense is ridiculously horrible. Like Patty's striking defense is bad. Like bad. Like the moment he faces a very good striker with some counter wrestling ability, he's going, I'm waiting to fade him. Don't worry about that. Just like Sean O'Malley, I'm waiting to fade him. Patty's one of the guys on the list to fade, but Jordan Levitt, is another one of my golden gooses. I've been making money off Jordan Levitt for a while. I just don't think that Patty's going to want to go down. He doesn't need to. All he needs to do is counter grapple, and he already knows that. Unfortunately, I think everything he's saying is what he's going to do and what's going to transpire. I hate when that happens in a fight because I tend not to want to listen to what fighters say and the things that they're doing, but I think that's what's going to happen in this bout.
Yeah, we're all on Patty. Let's move on. So next we have Jack Hermanson, the Joker, taking on the Action Man, Chris Curtis. Now this was one of my harder decisions right here, this coming fight. Look at how hyped Patty is. And here we are. Action Man, both of these pretty respectable. Like
Jack is jacked.
Jack is jacked. But Chris Curtis I just saw it today, right before as I was waiting for this video to start, I saw a Chris Curtis promotional video on his Instagram, and it said, on Instagram it said, he's like, and he's got like a kind of a weird high pitched voice for his body. You know, it's kind of odd. He's like, yeah, I've been trying to do this, get in the UFC for over 10 years, you know how? And I was like, wow. And
oh my God.
Then it shows his highlights. It shows his highlights, his knockout over Brendan Allen, his UFC debut knockout over Phil Hawes. It was fantastic. And then and it showed him messing around with Rodolfo Vieira. So you think back, his UFC debut was in November of 2021. That was just not even a year ago. And he had 3 straight UFC, and they're all short notice too. He beat Phil Hawes, UFC debut. Counter left round 1.
Very short notice though. 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Brendan Allen, a ranked fighter.
Overrated.
Punches and knees round 2, and then he beat the black belt hunter Rodolfo Vieira by unanimous decision most recently. These all took place within the last year, and this fight is short notice because he's coming in for Darren Till. Darren Till is supposed to fight Jack Hermanson.
Poor Darren Till. Prayers for Darren Till.
The jokes are never ending with that. But anyway, Jack Hermanson, I checked out his Instagram as well. He's fighting out of the Frontline Academy where he's always been fighting. It's over in like where's he from? I forget. It was like Switzerland or I don't know where. I forget. But it's somewhere in Europe there. He's training with this guy named Patrick Kinkle, who is the Octagon. You remember Octagon with the OKTOGA?
Ooh, sexy.
Octagon middleweight champion. That's that. So that it's not like this guy's just some off the street bum that he's training with. It's the regional scene middleweight champion over there for Jack Hermanson. So
we have to respond to Prodigy's.
Chris Curtis is extreme couture at this point.
Oh, Dan, I didn't check it out. She's too muscular for me.
But no,
he's just Chris Curtis on Instagram, Rod?
What's that?
How was Chris Curtis on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm about to tell you. He's training out of. I did mention he had that promotional video like today. He posted it, and it shows. It's 3 minutes long. I watched the whole thing. It starts out, and it even has highlights of Jack Hermanson. He's like, I finally found a opponent.
I want you to talk that way the rest of the show.
No, I can't do it. But he's like, I finally found an opponent that'll give me the fight that I'm looking for. And then it shows like Jack Hermanson, a lot of his submission victories and stuff. And but anyway, he's training out of Extreme Couture. You know, he's been a lifelong training partner to Sean Strickland for ages. Lifelong training partner, Sean Strickland.
We saw what happened to Sean Strickland last fight.
What's that?
We saw what happened to Sean Strickland in the last fight.
Yeah, but that was just he should poor fight IQ. He's just a dummy. Why didn't he wrestle? Why didn't he? Just pisses me off thinking about it.
Curtis has that one hitter.
Boy with KO the Scouser. Hand sanitizer boy is Ilya what's his name? Ilya Tuporia.
Oh yeah, that's the fight that I would have loved to have seen. I know they're not the same exact weight division.
Ilya Tuporia would tear up Paddy the Batty, tear him up. It wouldn't even within inside the distance. Tuporia inside round 2 knockout.
Yes.
Jack looks shredded. He sure the hell does.
Yeah, he looks in great shape.
Dude is diesel.
But he's not that much bigger than Chris Curtis.
Not playing around tomorrow. But it's going to be a tough. I don't know. Like I said, this was probably one of the hardest fights on a card.
Can I throw this out there? Like betting against Chris Curtis is maybe something you might regret doing because he's that kind of guy. Where
Yeah. I'm gonna go with him because didn't Sean Strickland did he beat Jack Hermanson? Right.
Yeah, go back to that voice, Ranj. You got to say it in that voice, or else we can't.
My voice, Sean Strickland, how to beat Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson didn't have nothing for my voice, Sean Strickland. So now I'm gonna kick his ass. I already got the blueprint on how to beat him. I know it does sound similar to Mike Tyson, but I don't have. It's not no lisp. There's no lisp on Chris Curtis. He's got like a high pitched voice for his body. It's weird. It shocked me when I was watching the promotional video.
You were like, whoa.
I've been trying to get into the UFC for 10 years. Like, oh man. Okay. I still picking him to win though. I'm taking Chris Curtis here.
Like
this guy, the victory.
This guy probably did not do well with the ladies.
Who?
Chris Curtis. Like,
well, he does the pose. He does.
I think Chris Curtis does well with the ladies or men. Whatever he wants to do, he does well.
Probably not. Does really good. That voice is a killer. That's a killer.
Struggling to pay my bills, trying to feed my family on these, living fight to fight, paycheck to paycheck, the regional scene. I've been trying to get to the UFC, and now my opportunity is here, and that's when I take this opportunity. That's why I jumped on it, and then it shows his highlights, and it's a good promotional video. But he's definitely straight. He's got family. He's got kids and all that. So he's definitely a straight family guy.
People are laughing out loud.
We're not talking about people having kids.
No, I'm saying Chris Curtis. I know the Jordan Levitt also has a kid too, but he's just faking it. and whatever.
Oh, Jesus, I don't
know. It doesn't really matter to me either.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't.
You have kids, Ron. You have a couple kids. Oh, you got 2 kids, or 2 going on 3.
Yeah.
No, I'm fixed. I got.
Well, listen. Amanda Nunes has a kid too. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she does.
Exactly. So having kids has nothing to do with your sexuality.
I know. I guess so. I'm old school.
I'm old school.
I'm old school where like gay people didn't have kids. That's the old school way.
Bro, I remember back in the day, man. Different times.
Yeah.
Hey guys, is a duality here Jack Hermanson via decision or Chris Curtis via TKO?
Jack Hermanson via decision or Chris Curtis via TKO.
275. And Matt, his Chris Curtis is plus 275 TKO right now.
I don't like Curtis by TKO here because I feel like they're so evenly matched. Enough of the additional variables like Chris Curtis coming in as a replacement, whatever else. Curtis can go the distance. He's very durable himself. He's very patient. I can see the fight going all 3 rounds. You know, so I don't love him via KO. I like the fight by decision.
I'm also taking Chris Curtis by decision. I think he's gonna play it smart. He's gonna be patient, like you said. He's gonna be patient. He's gonna. I don't think Jack Hermanson is gonna try to go for takedowns. You think? Well, he has to. I'm right. That's his path to victory.
I mean, even if he does, excuse me, we're talking about distance and we're talking about time, right? So the fight going longer, I feel like there's several ways that could happen. That could be by the wrestling or by the patience of Curtis. But I mean, I don't love the KO prop.
Curtis showed very good takedown defense against Adolfo Vieira, who is the black belt hunter, who is a one-trick pony type guy that does try to use his striking here and there. But everybody knows that his main path to victory would be.
And on that note, Ranj,
I hate to diss on the Brazilians again on their wrestling ability, but we're talking about European wrestling ability against. I was on Vieira to get that submission and that takedown, and I understand he missed 11 takedown attempts, or maybe even more than that. He might have missed 20 takedown attempts.
That's what I'm saying. Chris Curtis has good takedown defense.
He got 100% takedown defense.
But
Hermanson has 75% takedown defense in the UFC.
Yeah.
What's his opponent's been? Has he gone against a lot of wrestlers or strikers? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Oh, Nurmagomedov got a huge win just now, I think.
Oh, did he just choke this guy out already?
I don't know.
Jesus, that was so fast. It just started. It was round 1.
Yeah,
I'm watching. I was watching I guess on a delay behind you. Wow, he's so good. By the way, he's not the grappler type. He's one of the Nurmagomedovs that doesn't do the grappling. He's more of a striker, a kickboxer. But his ground game's pretty good. So we got a submission.
Let's see it right here.
Man, the guillotine. Wow. In round 1. That fight was even up to that point. He just
nice trip takedown right into the guillotine. That was good.
Man, there's Khabib. There's Khabib. Khabib. All Khabib's guys won tonight. All the Russians won tonight. All of them. There's no Russians left.
Khabib is doing fantastic as a manager, as a coach. And the UFC allowed him to do a lot of that. He had more of an advantage than a lot of other people did. Did he let Nick Diaz get in there with Nate? No. Just saying.
Yeah, no, it's incredible the evolution of Khabib because
Randy Couture wasn't allowed to coach and to corner his people from Extreme Couture.
Yeah,
why not? He did Ultimate Fighter. He was a coach.
I don't know. I mean, Khabib's different, man. He's a goat.
Oh, yep. There's the shirt with Khabib's dad's face on.
Yeah, they're all wearing it, and they've all been winning.
What's his birthday or something? I know he's passed.
I'm like, what?
Maybe anniversary of
his passing, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
That could be. All right. Let's move on.
Okay.
We're all. What are your guys' picks? I'm taking Chris Curtis.
I'm going to take Chris Curtis as well. And the reason being because if there's like one fast way for the fight to end by knockout, he has the edge. Otherwise, it goes to a close decision, I believe.
I think the play really here is the not to go the distance or the yes to go the distance. Not to go the distance is -143. Yes to go the distance is +108. Don't pick a fighter. And that's what I'm thinking.
What? Gun to head.
Gun to head. I'm on Chris Curtis TKO at +255.
Okay, Chris Curtis.
Curtis.
All right.
I didn't say that.
He's probably going to make our 3-leg parlay because on a lot of
put the gun in the head. I got a square for you, Ranj. When you put the gun in the head, I got a square already marked out for you, bro. And it's TKO Chris Curtis +255.
All right.
I got
it's just a saying. It's just a saying. I know you do, Mokiev. I know. All right. We're into the main event. Curtis Razor Blades versus Tom Aspinall. I did get the shirt. I won it from Dave, BC Dave. But surprisingly, I'm going to take the American wrestler to beat, despite me wearing the Tom Aspinall t-shirt tonight, I'm going against him. I'm taking Curtis Blades. And reason being, I think his wrestling is levels ahead of Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall, though, does have way better striking, trains with Tyson Fury, as everybody in the world knows. So, of course, he's going to strike better. But Curtis Blades, I think, has the sensibility to just be aggressive with the takedowns, control him on the ground. Tom Aspinall hasn't been into a 5-round fight. I don't think he's been past round 2, has he?
No.
He's never been past round 2, so his cardio's never been tested then that much. And Curtis Blades has the ability to take him down, do a blanket coverage, maybe do a little, jabs and stuff. And I don't think he's going to finish him. Tom Aspinall is just such a good athlete. He's so fast too. But I think I'm going to take Curtis Blades to win in the later rounds, if not decision. But Tom Aspinall could catch him because Curtis Blades got caught by Derek Brunson. Francis, though, that's a whole different beast. You know what I'm saying?
Beast.
But Curtis Blades, he like that the Derek Black Beast, Derek, not Brunson, Derek
Lewis.
He just caught him where Blades was coming in for a takedown, and he zigged when he should have zagged. That I stole that from what they call the Dog or Pass podcast. But he zigged when he should have zagged and got and ate the shot, and that's why he went down in that Derek Lewis fight. But I think here Curtis Blades will use his wrestling and upset the crowd in London, getting a victory over Tom Aspinall. What do you guys have to say about this main event?
Wow.
All you, boss. Hit it.
Man, I hope that doesn't happen. Aspinall is my main bet. I'm in it for a full bet, like my max bet. I'm in 5 units already on the money line. I hit it at numerous increments. It started at +105, and I've been betting it and parlays since then. Man, I'm happy to have Aspinall at plus money and up to -135 my last 2 units, and now it's at -148, which I think is a little wide. It should be a pick 'em, I agree, but I was happy to get some money on Tom Aspinall at plus money. I'm eyeing the plus 650 submission, the under 4.5 at -265. I'm looking at the Aspinall at round 1 at +370. Aspinall to win and over 1.5 at +190. I don't know where I'm going to go here. Aspinall submission +1400 round 1. It is going to be sketchy for me, but I'm all in on Aspinall can't deny the speed, the talent. I don't know if he's the real deal yet. This is the true test if he is the real deal. But I'm already invested in it. I'm in on Aspinall. I think, and here's another thing that I think that I mentioned early on one of my sip and smoke things is, what if Aspinall wrestles, right? He decides to grapple and
is a BJJ black belt. He is
a
BJJ
but
black belt.
wrestle, but actually, like, because nobody wants to wrestle Curtis Blades. What if he decides, like, yo, I'm gonna try to get a single leg on this guy, right? And I think all the upside, and if you got early on Aspinall, I think it's better. And right now, if you're on Blades, it's great. But I'm looking at the under 4.5 at -265. I'm not parlaying it, but I'm looking at the Aspinall by submission at +650. His finish line is ridiculously bad, and I'm looking at Aspinall on the money line all day. I'm there. Well, I'm already there. I've been on numerous events.
I just threw a quick $20 bet on Sydney Outlaw.
Oh, and he was a plus money guy that our boy, north of the border, Cody Saptic.
Cody Saptic, right?
Yeah. So, guys, so this main event, I don't have much, nothing complicated to give you guys. The props that I do like is a round 3, round 4, or round 5 finish by Curtis Blades. Again, I'll be chasing those 3 rounds. I'll be playing a small amount on each one of those rounds, but a round 3 TKO is plus 1,600. Round 4 is plus 2,400. Round 5 is plus 3,300. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's ain't chasing. You're chasing the meat. I get it.
Yeah. For me, it's like if this fight gets into round 3, because Curtis Blades has a tendency to be a slow starter, it's sort of like anything's up in the air. I do like submission props for Aspinall, like plus 500, for example, Aspinall to win any time by submission. This fight, it won't determine a lot. I think it's going to determine who's better right now, but the loser doesn't like take a big step back. They're both going to still be in the mix. They're both going to be very, very relevant heavyweights. Curtis Blades, like he's the kind of guy, like he's a big, nice giant. Like he's a nice guy. Like he doesn't really like come at anybody. He's not like a rude person. And so he doesn't have that part of him, that edge, and so he's missing that as part of his game. And if he's not careful, Aspinall, I feel like he's got that edge. I think Aspinall is a grinded out type of guy. He's a bit of an overachiever. Yeah. And so when it comes to wrestling, I like what you said there. I very much believe that when it comes to heavyweights, the wrestling, it comes down to like who's the better wrestler in that moment, because heavyweights don't get up very well. So if you do get a heavyweight on their back, then it's like
Aspinall gets him on his back.
That's what I'm saying. So if Aspinall gets him on his back, it's going to be a heavyweight on their back. That's like a turtle on their back. They just don't get up very well. It's a big person on top of another big person sucking wind. And so, yes, I like what you said. Aspinall chasing a single leg, getting Curtis Blades on his back. You can see a full round like that. And then Aspinall having top control. Aspinall with a different arm submissions. I like him there. He's very crafty. Reminds me of like Romanov, for example. These like new heavyweights coming in that are crafty with submission. They can finish you quickly and early. Yeah, I like a lot of props here. I think Curtis Blades wins the fight, though. I'm going to choose Curtis Blades to win. At the money line at plus 125, I don't love that bet per se, but I think he's got enough tools in the shed. I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
That's a good bet.
It's not a terrible bet.
We had something smoking. My boy was on.
Marcelo Gomez won?
Yeah, it's terrible, dude. It was terrible because what ended up happening, by the way, Ranj, is it got all the way to the end of round 3 with 25 seconds to go. Franklin got fucking submitted, dude. And I had him in 2 parlays. I had him in 2 big parlays where just about everything else had won, and he was the last leg, and he was winning the first 2 rounds. He cut the other guy. He was dominating. Bro, you know what happens? He threw a head kick, right? The guy caught it, took him down. He couldn't deal with the ground and pound, turned his back, rear naked choke, 25 seconds to go in the fight.
Wow.
Aspinall's not been out of round 1 or round 2 ever, right? So this is a 5-round fight. Everyone's looking at the under 4.5, which is minus 265. That might be a parlayable piece, but again, we're splitting hairs here. I think that but the thing is with Curtis Blades, he's not really a finisher. Like and Aspinall's gonna like, and what I want to see, what I'm hoping is Aspinall jiu-jitsu really for real? Is he like that Frank Mir type off your back, get a submission, get a heel hook kind of guy? Like, and if he's that, then it changes the whole game.
I feel like he is like that. I feel like he is like that. You know, I feel like he's got that kind of potential, right?
I don't know. We haven't seen it. He says he's like, oh, it's 10%. You only see 10% of what I do, whatever. But like if he does that shit, then I'm gonna be like, holy shit. If he submits Curtis Blades by like some heel hook or knee bar or gets in a triangle off the bottom, I'm gonna be you're gonna see Tom Aspinall like a favorite against any heavyweight, including the champions, other than our boy.
Yeah. So, no. Oh, he got knocked out. Outlaw got knocked out. Round 1. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 27 seconds to be exact. Oh my God, dude.
I just looked away for a sec. I just looked away. I come back.
Sydney Outlaw. Jeez, dude. People liked you. Cody Saptic liked you. My man Ranj.
Oh, he did. He big wobble there. Wow. Now watch the replay right now.
My man,
rubber legs. Wiggle. His legs just collapsed. He couldn't even stand after.
Wow, he looks terrible.
Wow, that's why you only bet UFC guys.
Bellator is very very volatile. Oh wow.
Oh, that's horrible.
Wow. Jesus, he looked terrible.
You can in the stock market if you're betting in Bellator.
Wow, I guess that was a good stoppage by Peterson, right? Yeah.
Keith Peterson still smells like cigarettes and beer,
right?
But anyway,
he looks like it.
All right, hey, as a wrap up,
what was that?
Thank you so much, Ranj, for having me as a guest.
Are you gonna give your plus money play the night as somebody? What's his name asked earlier?
Where is my plus money bet is Paul Craig. It's already done, and Amir Kwani, because those already been done. So those are my plays. Okay.
All right. Good enough.
Good shit, Bout Better. Good shit. So, it's been a pleasure being on with you, Bout Better.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, man. You guys are. I don't know how it lasted this long. I always said I'm not a live guy, but I'm complimented.
You did fine. You did a lot of smoke in your cigars, and
you did great. Dude.
Hey, that cigar was awesome. The beer was awesome. The company was awesome. I didn't see much of the chat because I didn't have it up, but I appreciate just being
awesome too. They're always awesome. Well, this is where me and Manny make a 3-leg parlay.
Yeah, if you got to go, we understand.
I'm here.
Good. So the ones that we agree upon are, I mean, this is just what I jotted down. We're on Chris Curtis, Patty the Batty. Nope. Nope. Mark Diacasey and Jai Herbert, which those are the only 4. Every other fight.
It's not bad. Let's see where that ends up at.
So we got to pick the out of those 4. We got to pick the 3 with the best betting odds, and we're gonna put them in a parlay.
Mark Diacasey and Chris Curtis. That will get us to.
We got to pick 3. I said 3 of them.
Yeah, that's not bad. That gets the plus. For me, that gets me to plus 223.
Plus money.
I don't like it.
For what?
I don't like it.
For who'd you have?
Plus 223.
Yeah,
I get to plus 2.
Chris Curtis, Patty Pimblett, and Jai Herbert, or Mark Diacasey?
No. I'm sorry. Mark Diacasey, Chris Curtis, and Jai Herbert.
Okay, let me see.
And we have Patty Pimblett in there.
No, we do a 3-leg. That's how we've been doing this show since the beginning. So Chris Curtis. Oh, Chris Curtis minus 110. That's a nice one. And Mark Diacasey. Minus 430. Are you kidding me? We can't use that. What's Patty Pimblett? Yeah, we'll use Patty Pimblett, not Mark Diacasey.
Oh, Patty
okay.
the Baddie.
So Chris Curtis, Patty the Baddie, and Jai Herbert together. A 3-leg parlay for $100 will pay out plus 258. So my $100 bet will win $258 place bet. There you go. I'm gonna copy it and paste it on.
I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
Why not?
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, like I'm there. I can't do Chris Curtis on that. Can't do it. At minus 112, I'd rather bet the money line.
Okay.
And
I just
makes
did
it rich.
So.
He said, "Well, I just too fucking late."
There's no cash outs on BetOnline. BetOnline doesn't let you cash out once you make your bet.
Ranj, you pulled the trigger too fast, Ranj. We're ready.
No, I'm good with it. I'm gonna win.
Yeah, Chris Curtis on the money line. Why are you like parlaying him?
What's that?
Why are you parlaying Chris Curtis when you could bet him on the money line? You're better off putting on, like he said. Who was the third person?
The Mark Diacasey is a minus 430.
Easy.
I'd rather not.
Yeah,
I want to make money on this. I'm trying to get value on this parlay as well. It's not just
plus 130.
Yeah, that's not value. Come on, I'm a plus money junkie. That's not plus enough.
Yo, Noah Allen.
I agree, man. I ain't gonna bet that shit either, man. I don't like either parlay.
Noah Allen said
Patty loses, suck. All these guys suck. I mean, it's horrible. It is what it is.
It's a risk, but you gotta do it. Last week I would have won 800 if it was.
I'd rather put the unit back on. I'd rather put the unit back on.
Put up Ice Vikings comment.
Put a unit on.
Yeah, put up Ice Vikings comment there. Look at this.
Heard something about Chris Curtis having a bummed hand coming into this fight. Man,
I'd rather put the unit on Paul Craig or the unit on Tom Aspinall. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick to the money line, guys. That's what the bot better's gonna do. He has no parlays. I'm not gonna parlay anybody.
Well,
I'm gonna But I know, but hey, I'm going to say this. I'm convinced I'm going to get fancy with shit. I'm going to look at those round, like we talked about those round decisions and methodologies. We're going to spend a little money on that. All right. We're going to spread that $100, like this guy said, over these other bout bets, and we're going to make it happen.
I mean, if I can argue the reason why, I'm going to simply say this. I know people who would rather just gamble a few spots on every card. I respect it. I get it. Nothing against it. But if you're going to watch the entire card and want to enjoy every fight, then you want to spread out your basically spread out your exposure to the card. And so putting smaller bets on some specific props, like, certain round finishes by a certain method, that's a way to enjoy it. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I will say this. You mentioned earlier before, by playing too many positions, that in itself also can be a recipe for breaking even. You end up losing just enough to not make enough, and so there's that danger too. You don't want to overplay, but I do like, taking a certain amount of money and spread it out over a handful of just very high paying out props and just have some fun with it.
Let's do it. This is the week to do that. Chalky card. Let's do those crazy props. Let's try to make that crazy money. And you know when you win that money? When you win that plus $1,100, even if you bet $20 on it, you feel like a champ.
Suck though when you prop somebody to win by submission, then he ends up doing like a
I know this,
a ground and pound.
No, it doesn't suck as much.
That bite.
Not when it's $10 or $20. Not when it's $10 or $20, you don't care.
Yeah, and listen, I try to.
When you win, you're over there fist pumping.
Oh,
you're like over there like you won a fucking lottery.
And listen, you could do things to sort of pay the extra tax. So like if you think the fight will end in round 2, but you're like not sure, then take the round 3 and round 2, or take round 1 and round 2, whatever you're sort of leaning towards. Like pay the extra. Yeah, I mean, just whatever. Just take the extra little bit of money you have to pay there to cover yourself, because it does suck when you have a specific prop. Like for example, the scenario is you have a guy who's about to choke someone out in like a round 2, and you have him in round 2 submission win, and it's like about to happen, and the bell rings. It's like, oh, it was about to happen. Yeah, that sucks. That everyone doesn't like that.
Yeah, it does. But everything, it's all a gamble. This is gambling, so everything's a gamble here. But
thanks, guys, again.
All right, yeah. Now I'm starting to get tired. This is an early show too. It's tomorrow. This starts 11 o'clock Eastern time.
No, so 12 o'clock, brother. 12 o'clock.
Oh, was it?
It was 11 before, but now on Tapology, if you check it, it does say 12 o'clock.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I just printed this out today. You're right.
Extra hour.
Noon. Interesting.
That's better.
I wonder why that changed.
That's better. So.
Anyway, I'm sticking with this has already been placed with 3-leg parlay with Jai Herbert, Chris Curtis, and Paddy Pimblett. So my $100 is gonna win me almost 260, 258. Not as good as last week's, but still good enough. This is super chalky card. You could do a
super chalky card.
Super. I did an all United Kingdom bet or parlay.
No.
Too. I did. It was $10. This is where you throw the money away. Just $10 on a 9-fighter, and that was with has like Muhammad Mokaev, Jai Herbert, Nathaniel Wood, Molly McCann, Paddy Pimblett, Tom Aspinall, Paul Craig. Right there's 7. Mason Jones, Mark Diakese. There's 9. I did all 9 of those, and they're all favorites, and they're all should win. Except for
what'd you get? Plus 2,900.
I forget what it was. It's in my recorded bets though, but it was
plus 2,000.
It was something. It was pretty decent though. It was good. But anyway, which European shits the bed? That's the question of the night, because one of these will. Ooh. I hope it's Mokaev. Actually. I really do. I hope Charles Johnson.
If it's Paddy, we get a riot. If it's Molly, we get a semi-riot.
It's Aspinall. Aspinall has like the toughest fight.
He does.
That's why the odds are the way they are.
But I think people understand.
What happened, Noah? Did you get fired? Did you get fired or did you quit?
Oh wow!
Interesting.
Noah Cinemati.
Wow. Oh, okay. He just graduated with a chemistry degree. Fantastic.
Oh, nice, Noah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Noah won the gift card last week, right? He was one of the winners.
He did.
Very good. Tonight,
did you do your second one?
I didn't. I was going to segue into that, but I don't want to overtake our time here because I'm trying to gauge where we're at here with everything.
Okay. Well, we've been on for 3.5 hours. I'm tired and hungry.
And by the way,
we'll jump off. We'll fast forward this card to the next time. I'll give it out next time.
There you go. Perfect. Because Bellator's main event is starting. I'm going to get a snack and watch this.
Okay.
Jason Jackson.
Ugly mouthpiece. Better. What were you saying about Better?
First time I made it through with any group of people, and it couldn't have been with any better guys, man. I'm so happy to be here. Ranj knows I've been in the chat big time with him from day 1 or day 2 or day 120. And I'm very active in his chat, and it's fun to be allowed to talk about my opinions, and I appreciate being with you guys. You guys made me look good. I think you guys look good. So
go ahead and plug your channel, About Better. Check him out
on
YouTube. Absolutely.
Hey,
he also
don't worry about Better channel. Everybody already knows about the channel. Knows about what I be.
He does Sip and Smoke. He'll do 3 live streams at once. I've seen it.
Hey, Ranj, thanks again, brother. Very appreciative. You guys are awesome. Right, I hope this ended up very well and you enjoyed it. And I completely enjoyed it and want to be back. Anytime you guys want me back, please just let me back.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Everybody have good luck tomorrow. It'll be on early, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right. Later.
Peace.